2 nights removed from the ACH debut for ice hockey at UCSB, it was the hometown kid, Cooper Spears, who wore the hero's cape, scoring 4 goals, including the game winner with 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go as the Gauchos picked up their first win of the 2016-17 season in thrilling fashion and in their first time competing in the highest level club hockey league in the United States. Well, hi everybody, Eric Evelhoch here with Kyle Nicolas from the Snyder Rink at Ice in Paradise, ready to bring you the second game of the weekend series opening the ice hockey at UCSB season for 2016-17. The Gauchos face the Santa Rosa Junior College Polar Bears, and Kyle, if this game is anything like the opener, we are in for a treat here this afternoon.
Absolutely. The first contest between these two teams that took place on Friday night wound up being all sorts of the emotional spectrum for Gaucho fans. You had the amazing highs of the absolutely incredible first period that the team went out and just grabbed the game by the horns and made it their own. But then you had the lows. The third period comeback by the Santa Rosa Polar Bears was just an absolutely valiant effort by a team looking to come in and just steal some points away from the Gauchos that at the end of the first period looked like they in every way deserved. But it took some late heroics by the aforementioned Cooper Spears in order to put the Gauchos over the top and claim that 7-6 nail-biter of a victory. So it's going to be an interesting matchup to see how things shape up in the aftermath of that game, considering quite a few things happened towards the end of that game that are going to have a big effect on this team for a little while going forward.
Most notably, that would be the 4-game suspension doled out by the ACHA to both Gaucho defenseman Christian Ockpish as well as Santa Rosa Junior College defenseman David Lundgren. We said on the broadcast a slapshot-esque moment when the two decided to drop the gloves in the hallway beside the rink as they were approaching their locker rooms. The ACHA, a zero-tolerance policy for fighting, and when it happens off-rink, Kyle, now UCSB is without one of their 6 defensemen for a quarter of the season.
Christian Ockpish has sustained a 4-game suspension for that little stunt, as did David Lundgren on the other side. Now, for Santa Rosa, Lundgren has already served the first game of that. Santa Rosa playing last night down in Long Beach at Lakewood Ice. They lost that contest to the 49ers by a final score of 9-5. So you have what should be a more tired team here coming in that's also going to be shorthanded, but is also probably going to be angry, and they're going to be a little desperate to come out of this road trip, this swing down into Southern California, with a couple points to show for it. 3 games in 3 days to be 3 losses would not be the ideal situation, obviously, for Santa Rosa. But they will be coming out strong. They will be looking to set the tone early. Expect them to be physical. Expect them to once again try to dominate the game with their size advantage. But if the Gauchos can play a similar game to how they have played essentially the first half of Friday's game, they should be able to handle this one as well.
UCSB ended up outshooting Santa Rosa Junior College by a 53-33 margin in their victory in a game that saw over 100 penalty minutes combined between the two teams. Kyle, one thing that head coach Scott Hires and his staff are going to have to certainly pay attention to will be special teams. In the game on Friday, Santa Rosa Junior College went 3 for 6 on the power play, while the Gauchos whiffed on all 5 of their odd man opportunities.
Well, we made mention of it before the game that the penalty kill for Santa Rosa needs to be good with the number of penalties that they take on an average game basis, and it was lights out spectacular on Friday night. The Gauchos are going to once again have to find a way to crack that one if they're going to have a chance at repeating their performance from Friday and coming out of it with the win. They're going to need to be stronger with that extra man. Now, on the counter side, Santa Rosa, they had success against the Gaucho penalty kill, especially the end of the game when they scored on their last 3 consecutive power plays. This is something the Gauchos are going to really have to tighten up, is their play in front of goaltender Nora Penn when they're down a man.
It was one thing that, in speaking with the coaching staff before the game, they impressed upon, and we'll play an interview with head coach Scott Hires a little bit later on in the pregame show here on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network. But Kyle, one thing that I think is really impressive about UCSB on the whole, shifting away from special teams, is the depth of this team. And we saw it on display in that first game. Mitchell Poliuso tied for the team lead in scoring last season with 22 points in 9 games played. He ends up putting 3 points on the board, a goal and 2 assists in the game on Friday night. UCSB, the fact that they're able to put their leading scorer from last year on the 4th line and really roll all 4 of those lines no matter the circumstance, gives the Gauchos a tremendous advantage and an opportunity to perhaps take advantage of weary legs, as you mentioned, from the Polar Bears.
Absolutely. The Gaucho depth was on full display on Friday night, especially with, as you mentioned, that 4th line with Mitchell Poliuso and with team captain Justin Goldzer. The two of them combined for some absolutely spectacular play. Goldzer netting a pair of his own goals on Friday to go with Poliuso's. Those were the only 2 goal scorers besides the 4-goal hero Cooper Spears. Having that much depth going down your lineup is going to be key for the Gauchos going forward, especially facing the tired legs of this Santa Rosa team.
Surely another player to keep an eye on, as we mentioned on Friday night, is Josiah Nickel, the leading scorer all-time for the Polar Bears. What did he do in the game Friday night? Oh, just a 5-point evening, a goal as well as 4 helpers, 3 of those coming on the power play. But Kyle, in the game on Friday night, we mentioned that despite the puck dominance that Josiah Nichols shows with the puck in the attack zone, at the same time, UCSB did a very good job of limiting his opportunities to get the puck to the net.
I think UCSB went into last game with a pretty solid game plan in that they knew who the big threat for Santa Rosa was, and they took very extra caution to negate any chance of offense that he had the entire night. It was a very difficult night for specifically Santa Rosa and specifically for Josiah Nickel. But on the other hand, now a couple games later, he's had a chance to adapt, and this is what the good goal scorers do. That's what makes them so difficult to shut down, is you get guys like, for Southern California hockey fans, Corey Perry or Jeff Carter. These guys that are known snipers and goal scorers find ways to adapt when teams figure them out, and they find new ways to go and score. Nickel has absolutely done that throughout his career in order to get the offensive numbers that he has put up for this team. So the Gauchos are going to have a new task on their hand. The player is the same, the strategy will probably be likely the same, but it's also going to be a completely new challenge for UCSB.
Remember to get social with your Gauchos. Follow on Facebook, like facebook.com/icehockeyucsb. On Twitter, follow at UCSB Ice Hockey. And on SoundCloud, we're at soundcloud.com/icehockeyucsb. As starting goalie Nora Penn leading the Gauchos out of the locker room and onto the ice for the pregame warm-ups. We are just, I believe, 8 minutes or so away from the beginning of today's contest. We thank you for joining us here on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network. Live streaming video coverage around the world on YouTube. If you miss any portion of the game, you can go back and watch it. Or, as mentioned, you can catch a audio-only broadcast recording on SoundCloud. And if you don't have the opportunity to watch the broadcast, you can listen at mixlr.com/icehockeyucsb. Well, Kyle, we had the opportunity to speak with head coach Scott Hires in the pregame show. Take a listen as Hires speaks on a high-level performance from the Gauchos on Friday night.
There's a lot of things to like about the game on Friday night. Most importantly, 7-6 the result.
Absolutely. Great start out to that 3-0 in the first. After 2 periods, 5-2. Let those guys get back in. They're a great team. It was a little close at 6-6 until Cooper Spears buried that 7th goal with under 2 minutes.
And talk a little bit about the performance of Spears and that first line. It seemed like Santa Rosa had a real difficult time dealing with the speed and the skill on that top unit.
Oh, absolutely. That first line was buzzing, and I believe that all 4 of our lines were buzzing along pretty well. We were flying. All 4 lines were producing, I believe. I believe that the Santa Rosa team is a physical team, and they couldn't keep up with our speed. I believe that the coach did a good job of making some adjustments, which showed in the third period. But with 6 practices, a little over 2.5 weeks of trying to get these guys ready after a summer break, there's some conditioning that needs to be worked on, and I think we'll look good after we get some more practices and some more conditioning, and that's for sure, because we're definitely flying.
And speaking about the physicality that Santa Rosa brings, over 100 penalty minutes combined between the two teams in the first game. How do you get the guys to not be as much wearing the rut to the penalty box as they did in the third period that seemed to allow Santa Rosa to get back in?
I'm truly a firm believer is that it hurts more on the scoreboard than it does. I wouldn't say stupid to that level, but we got to be more mature. We got to play a more gentleman type hockey because our game isn't physicality. It's not instigating. It's not, the season's not going to go off, hey, we got a guy that's, leading the league in penalty minutes. We're gonna hopefully lead the league in stats as far as scoring and wins in that area.
As a result of the physicality, UCSB now down a defenseman for the next 4 games. How's the core going to handle working with just 5 players on the back end? It's
going to be tough. Defense are going to get a lot of ice time out of it, but I think it'll be okay. We'll just rotate the 5 and get them in there, and short shifts. Short shifts have got to be key in this matchup tonight. What do you see as the most important thing that your team can do to come away with the 2 points tonight? Keep all 4 lines short. Keep high intensity first, second, third period, and just keep doing what we're doing in the first and second period of Friday's game. And that's just get the puck in there, puck's on net, pound it in there, and hope for the best on this one.
Big thank you to head coach Scott Hires for joining us here on the Ice Hockey at UCSB pregame show. Eric Evelhoch and Kyle Nicolas with you as both teams are on the ice and warming up. It'll be the same lines for the Gauchos tonight, Kyle. The first line of Lawrence and Spears centered by Barone. Second line of Herlihy with the Mooney brothers on the wings. There was some concern as to whether or not Kyle Mooney would be available for the game, but the penalties that he took in the third period, unsportsmanlike conduct and a 10-minute misconduct, without it being an ejection, that means he is eligible to play for this game. A third line with Dominic Colsio centering Greg Hyman and Hunter Van Duzer, and of course the aforementioned fourth line with Jesper Damgaard on the wing for center Mitchell Pagliuso and captain Justin Goldser. The defense pairs Dimitri Piagai with Andrew Vieira and Eric Evelhoch with Evgeny Slislenko. James Blount is the 5th defenseman, and Kyle, as you heard mentioned by Coach Hires in the pregame interview, that means it's just time to rotate through on the back end. And with your playing experience, what's it like, and does it change your focus as a defender when you may not necessarily have the same set partner when you're out on the ice?
A large chunk of it comes down to what side of the ice you are playing. Some players tend to be a little bit more, they can play either left or right. Some players tend to be a little bit more preferential to one side over the other. When you get 2 guys that happen to find themselves a lot more comfortable playing one particular side of the ice, one of them is going to have to shift over in order to play together on that line, unless the coaching staff can find a way around it and stick someone else over who can play that side that neither of them are comfortable playing. So at this point for the Gauchos, it might take a little bit of doing on behalf of the coaching staff. But on the other hand, when you get 2 defensemen that do play or can play either side or play at least their comfortable side out there, it should be okay. It should be relatively a plug and play. These guys have practiced a fair amount with each other, which makes it somewhat easier in order to kind of get used to where your partner might be. But if anything, it's just a matter of you have to step up on your communication as well. Make sure you know where your partner's at. Make sure your partner knows if you're going to jump up and maybe try to pinch off on the sideboards, that they need to know that they can back into that softer spot in the middle of the ice, so that way you guys don't get burned, especially by a speedy player, much the likes of Kashishian, John Kashishian, who had a very strong game and is a very speedy skater for Santa Rosa, or even the big threat Josiah Nickel.
And speaking about this Santa Rosa offense that this reconfigured defense is going to have to deal with, Kyle, we mentioned earlier Josiah Nickel, the 5-year player for Santa Rosa Junior College, the team's captain. But as you mentioned, Kashishian comes in with many plaudits. Max Brownlee, the sensational freshman last season who set a Santa Rosa Junior College program record with an 11-game point streak. He had a goal. This is a team that has several weapons that can hurt you up top. Who else stood out from you in the game on Friday night that Ice Hockey at UCSB should paying attention to in the offensive zone from Santa Rosa Junior College?
The big standout for me was number 86, the 6'1" forward, hometown boy from Santa Rosa, Max Brownlee. Brownlee was the only guy on the team to score more than 1 goal. He scored 2 for Santa Rosa, and a large chunk of that was because the Gauchos did such a good job shutting down Josiah Nickel that they kind of left Brownlee alone for a little bit. And this is what happens when you get this 2-headed monster in terms of the offense. If you focus so much on one side, the other one will come in and they'll bite you when you're not even looking at it. So this is another guy that the Gauchos are really going to have to keep their eyes on Obviously, the speed of John Kashishian is going to draw a lot of attention as well. Speed tends to get your attention very quickly, which is why Jag Lawrence seems to draw so much in the way of defensive coverage. But essentially, when you combine all three of these guys together, it's a very complete and very dynamic offensive threat that Santa Rosa can prevent to this Santa Barbara defense.
UCSB facing a Santa Rosa Junior College team that is the 4-time defending champions of the Pacific Collegiate Hockey Association. Now it's the PCHL, which these two teams compete in Division II of the ACHA. And a reminder, if you want to make a donation or a gift to the Ice Hockey at UCSB program to help this student organization continue to grow, continue to evolve, and continue to be competitive in Division II of the ACHA, be sure to reach out to team advisor Susan Goodale. You can do so by sending her an email at susan.goodale@ucsb.edu. Goodale is spelled Goodale, or give her a call at 805-893-3530, 893-3530 in the 805 area code. All right, Kyle, we heard from head coach Scott Hires as part of the pregame show here. Now, as we always do, we turn to you to come up with the keys for tonight's contest and how the Gauchos can improve to 2-0 on the season.
The Gauchos, first and foremost, are obviously going to have to adapt to having only 5 defensemen available to them. Having 5 defense, especially when you're used to 6, when you're used to running 3 full D pairs, can become a lot more interesting, a lot more confusing. So this will be a difficult thing for the Gauchos to overcome, especially in the early minutes when guys might find themselves playing with a partner that they're not necessarily essentially used to. The second key to the game is going to be the Gauchos absolutely cannot take their foot off the gas no matter how big their lead might grow if they can get that. Last game, the Gauchos sort of seemed to take their foot off the gas and fall asleep a little bit when they went up by a score of 6-2 early in the third period. That really seemed to change the game because immediately after that, Santa Rosa ramped it up and immediately started coming hard. And you got to give them a lot of credit for that comeback effort. So close to it. If it weren't for that heroic effort at the end of the game by Cooper Spears, that game very easily could have gone to overtime, and Santa Rosa could have walked out with the 2 points completely. So again, this very much Gauchos need to keep their foot on the gas pedal, and the biggest thing I'd say for both teams in this one is they have to be strong in front of their goaltender. Both of these teams seem to struggle a lot when the forwards were able to get down on top of the goal crease, whether it was with speed, physicality, just burrowing their way to the front of the net, or just sneaking down there as Mitchell Poliuso did on his goal and Justin Goltzer did on his first goal. Staying strong and staying alert in front of your goaltender is absolutely pivotal for both of these teams. Nora Penn bailed the Gauchos out multiple times with some spectacular sliding across the crease in the split saves. The Gauchos can't really rely on that because that's one of those things that probably isn't necessarily something that you would call reliable. Obviously, you want to get them wherever you can, but as a defense, you should not be causing your goalie to have to make these saves on a continual basis.
The young lady from the Munich area in southern Germany picked up her first win of the season on Friday night, stopping 27 shots. She will be back between the pipes for ice hockey at UCSB. Well, Jacob Pavsik, who was pelted with 53 pucks, stopping 46 of them on Friday night, he once again gets the call for second-year head coach Blake Johnson for Santa Rosa Junior College. Well, that'll do it for the pregame show here on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network. Teams are meeting up at the benches as the pregame pucks are being taken away, and we're just moments away from beginning this evening's contest from the Snyder Rink at Ice in Paradise here in Goleta. UCSB in their home white uniforms with blue pants, white socks, trimmed in gold and blue, the numerals in blue trimmed in gold. Santa Rosa Junior College in navy uniforms with red pants, navy and red socks. Some players red helmets, some players navy helmets. SRJC in red trimmed in silver, descending from right to left across the chest. As we mentioned, for those of you listening on MixLR, unable to watch the live video stream, it is very similar to the uniform that the New York Rangers wore as a modernized alternate back in the late 90s.
Great jersey they wore that back then too. I loved the design on that.
It is just about time to drop the puck, but first, as always, it's time to pay tribute to those who serve and have served. The teams lining up at the blue lines for the national anthem to be performed this evening by Associate Professor of Voice and Opera at UCSB and Assistant Coach Ben Brecker. Rene Rancourt may pump his fist, but Ben Brecker has the beautiful pipes to present today's national anthem here from the Snyder Rink at Ice in Paradise, Game 2 of the opening weekend series between ice hockey at UCSB and the Santa Rosa Junior College Polar Bears. Gauchos looking to improve to 2-0 on the season. Santa Rosa Junior College looking to keep from going over this weekend down in Southern California. They are 0-2-0 after the 7-6 loss to UCSB on Friday and the 9-5 defeat at the hands of the California State University Long Beach 49ers yesterday.
Worth noting, a quick note about this game, it appears as though this is going to be a 2-referee system as opposed to last game, which was a 3-referee system. 2-referee system notorious for letting the players play a little bit more, so we'll see how that influences the calls, especially knowing how the last game went about. So something to note for the Gaucho fans early.
Top line out for UCSB. Santa Rosa starting Denon and Larry Hansen on the wings for Josiah Nickel with defensemen Tim Buchter and Sean Pabros. The puck is down and the Polar Bears begin with the puck to begin action as the Gauchos will skate left to right here in this first period of action. Skating in the left wing, Tommy Denon will send it behind the net for Santa Rosa. It's picked up in the right corner by Larry Hansen. He's wedged off the puck there by Vieira. Now 4 players engaging as they try and spring it from the right corner. Josiah Nickel comes up with it, sweeps it to the middle of the slot, and a nice bit of stick work from Cooper Spears to move it to the near boards. Battle to try and move it into the slot area. Nobody there for Santa Rosa. Piagai will play forward, and Spears with it, carrying into the left wing, and he takes a heavy hit from Tim Buchter, and it looks like we may have our first penalty of the game just 42 seconds in. Signal for a cross-check against Buchter, the defenseman from Oakland.
And that's a good call from the referee. Buchter came across with a lot of speed, and Cooper Spears had his head down towards the dasher board level coming across, and it was a head-first contact on Spears. Good to see him bounce up so quickly after that one. So apparently not a clean contact, but enough to the point where it's going to give the Gauchos the first power play of this game. Let's see if they can immediately jump out and improve on one of the aspects of the game that they struggled with last time out.
UCSB 0 for 5 on Friday night with the man advantage. The starting power play unit, Kyle Mooney, the center, wins the draw, and it's sent back to the line for Piagai. On the far boards, Kevin Mooney will give for Kyle, back for Kevin, a left point. For Kyle, underneath the goal line, interchanges with his brother along the far boards and sends it back to the line for Piagai. Piagai for Mooney, it's stick checked away from him by Colin Ridnour. Puck played across the slot, chased into the corner by Mitchell Poliuso. Sent back to the line, Slisenko now gives for Kevin Mooney. Kevin working to the right circle, back for Piagai. Switches across, Kyle tries to send it across the slot, links up with Kevin. He'll curl around in the right corner and sends for Poliuso underneath the net. Has it sweep checked away by Ridnour. Puck loose behind the net. This will be played away by Derek Osborne, but it's intercepted by Kyle and sent back to the line for Piagai. For Kyle, with it, top of the far circle, into the slot, backhander, off of Osborne, on a second try, and it's roofed! He scores! Kevin Mooney, the power play goal, and the Gauchos lead it 1-0. Just over a minute and 30 seconds into the game.
Well, that's one way to get an immediate improvement on a power play that went over its last time out. And this was a good-looking power play for the Gauchos as well. I don't think Santa Rosa was able to clear that puck even once on that entire penalty kill. Some good hold-ins, but ultimately it's a great pass, a dummy pass, I guess you could say, from a man standing in a prime scoring area in the slot over to Mooney over on the right-hand side, the left-hand post, and he just roofs the backhand.
Kevin Mooney, his first goal of the season. Santa Rosa controls off the face-off. Josiah Nickel with it near corner. Drags, gives it along the goal line. Can't complete the pass to Larry Hansen. He now battles for it behind the net. Hansen engaged by a pair of Gaucho defenders. Now comes away with it. A whistle and a stoppage in play. And you have to wonder, Kyle, if the officials are going to be particularly paying attention to any sort of physical activity between these two teams following the game on Friday night. That stoppage is play due to the net being off its pegs.
They might be paying a little bit more attention to it, considering how fiery the last game ended as well. But again, like I said, with the two-referee system, they try to let the boys play a little bit more, and they really only rein in with it when it gets a little bit out of control.
Santa Rosa controls off the draw. Fluttering shot from the blue line. Save made by Penn. She stopped the rebound as well from Jackson Waldron.
Deflected shot from the point as well. That's a good reactionary save from the goaltender.
Gauchos break forward. Third line out there as Hyman pressuring Buchter. Played up the far boards, intercepted by UCSB. Puck dropped off for Poliuso. Plays it behind the net for Colsio. Hyman for Poliuso. Poliuso pirouetting with the puck. Separated from it momentarily by Waldron. Now they bang away for it in the right corner. Behind the net, Hyman sends it in front, just can't connect with the pass for Colsio, and Santa Rosa will skate it out to center. That's Travis Labroucherie. He will get the red line and chip it into the near side corner where Piagai is back to retrieve. Piagai and Vieira, once again the defense pairs. It's sent out to the red line, intercepted by Ridnour and played back in. Penn will leave it for Vieira. Poliuso trying to break out, had it knocked away from him for a moment. Ridnour tries to play forward from the red line, battle along the near side boards. On the second try, John Kashishian able to get it into the near corner for Santa Rosa. Piagai, right corner, switches it back to the left corner for Vieira. Puck off the far boards. There's that two-man high forecheck from Santa Rosa that we saw them use to such effect in the second half of that game on Friday. UCSB will shoot the puck in behind Santa Rosa starter Jacob Pavsek. Dangerous pass to the front of the net, but nobody there except for Max Brownlee, and he'll play it forward looking for Kashishian. He overleads him, and Vieira with the intercept will skate back into his own end and play it for Jesper Damgard along the near side boards. Switches to the far side boards. Hot shot pass, too hot to handle. Goes in behind the Santa Rosa net. No icing here. It's a good bit of hustle from Tyler Barone. Ridnour will send it along the near side boards. Hansen, one try, and on the second, he's able to get it back out to neutral ice. Skating forward, Josiah Nickel. One-on-one, stood up well by Valois. Nickel picks it up in the left corner. Now four players engaged for it. They're digging for it. The officials saying move, move, move. And Hansen sends it behind the net. Slisenko will backhand it around to the left corner. Waiting there, Jag Lawrence. Lawrence shrugs off a hit from Tommy Denon. Gives back for Slisenko, who returns the feed for Lawrence. Lawrence tries to play it across the slot. It hops, but back and settling with it. Able to get it to the line, but not out Valois. Played across the slot, nobody home. Jag Lawrence will track it down along the far side boards. Chips it to the line, and here's a chance for Cooper Spears. Cooper Spears blazing in up the left wing. Big hit, he's sent into the boards as the puck is bounced off the near side boards, and it'll be played out by Tommy Denon. He cannot connect with Josiah Nickel. Into the UCSB zone, Santa Rosa goes for a line change. Jaguar Lawrence carrying, crossing the red line. 1-2-2 defensive set from Santa Rosa here as Lawrence has stood up at the blue line, puck taken away. Kashishian for Brownlee, and he'll dump it into the near side corner. 14:35 to go here, first period, 1-0 UCSB. Kashishian tries a feather feed to the slot. It's intercepted, and this will be played forward. Spears up the left wing into the attack end. It's off his stick. Ridnour takes it away from him. Now Spears will battle with him along the end boards. Cleared away and out by Katasic, and this one will go the length of the sheet, and an icing.
Well, you can immediately see one of the biggest things that Santa Rosa has changed is they've really redoubled their efforts to pressure Santa Barbara coming through the neutral zone. They are not giving that particular area of the ice up easily. There's a lot less space, I guess I should say, coming through that area of the ice, and it's giving the Gauchos a lot of trouble leaving their own end.
Activating from the point, Blount couldn't control. Now Kashishian carries in. His shot from the top of the near circle screams over top of Penn, blocker side. Puck picked up far boards, attempted center, and it's intercepted. Tried to be played forward for Kevin. Taken away, now Kyle will carry in. Kyle in, center to the slot, intercepted, played to the near side corner. Time for the Polar Bear to move the puck, and Jackson Waldron plays it to the line, but it's intercepted. Kevin sends back to the line. Vieira back for Kevin. Kevin shot through traffic off the glove of Papsic, goes behind the net. Will be backhanded around the near side boards for Buchter, but held in by Vieira. Curled around to the far corner. Anthony Giampoli has it taken away by Kyle. Kyle plays it off the end boards to get free. Kevin will send it back to the line. Slisenko there for Kevin. Kevin switches to the near point for Vieira. Vieira backhands it into the corner. There to pick it up, Evelhoch. Once again, the Gauchos reverse to the near side point, and this one will squirt out to center ice and back into the Gaucho end. Santa Rosa able to go for a line change. Kevin plays it up the near boards for Kyle. Kyle on the carry-in, 2-on-2. Kyle curls at the near face-off dot. Spinning at the top of the high slot. Now his shot. I don't know if it got through to Papsic, but it's swept back out to center ice by Santa Rosa. Kyle Mooney playing for Andrew Vieira along the near side boards, and he will dump this in. Forwards go for a line change as Papsic stops it behind the net. Play to the near side boards for Sean Pabros. Pabros played it to the line. Good job by UCSB to step up and force the turnover. Greg Hyman chases the puck to the far boards where he's engaged with Josiah Nickel. Played forward, and Tommy Denon has it taken off his stick. Attempted walk-through there by Colsio. No luck. As this one is sent back out to center, and Eric Valois will curl back with it in his own end. Misses the pass for Colsio along the near side boards. Pabros carries forward to the top of the near circle. He'll just skate it in to the corner. Back to the line. Denon. Upended. Leave it deep for Pabros, and a whistle and a penalty forthcoming, tripping the indication from the official with 11:45 to go here in the first period of play. And it looks like Santa Rosa is going to have their first power play opportunity of the evening.
And this is going to be Dominic Casio going off for a tripping penalty. Casio just got caught on the wrong side of his man over along the sideboards, and all of a sudden just the speed going the other way. Casio almost had no choice but to stick his stick out and unfortunately haul the man down.
Off the draw, Ridnour's shot is kicked to the far boards by Penn. Poliuso is there, and he will play it all the way out and down the ice. Santa Rosa 3 for 6 with the extra man on Friday night. Jag Lawrence up in on the forecheck as the Polar Bears look to break out from their own end. Ridnour for Brownlee overleads him, and Blount will pick it up and fling it back into the Santa Rosa zone. Josiah Nickel, who plays the point during the power play for Santa Rosa, will carry in through the middle of the ice. Stops up along the near side wall. Motions Ridnour to the top of the slot, but will give it up along the near side boards. Max Brownlee shoots wide of the glove side low to Penn. Poliuso plays it along the far side boards, gets between the skates of Ridnour. This one will go into the Santa Rosa end. UCSB has killed 55 seconds of Santa Rosa power play. John Kashishian stretches across the red line and will carry in right wing, stopping at the top of the circle and sending it behind the net for Brownlee in the left corner. Brownlee curls to the top of the near circle, leaves it there for Josiah Nickel. Nickel to the bottom of the near face-off circle on his backhand, comes behind the net. Nickel looking for a place to go with it. Tees up Kashishian. His shot from the near face-off dot deflects but comes to Brownlee. His shot is blocked by the Gaucho defense. Ridnour now with it. Pass backdoor. Nice stick on the play from Vieira. And UCSB is able to get the clear. 25 seconds remaining on the power play.
Big clear for the Gauchos. You can see that the penalty killers were starting to get tired. 4 pairs of fresh legs coming onto the ice.
Nickel almost gives it away to Kyle Mooney. And now another feed through the middle off a Gaucho stick, and Slisenko activates but just has the puck hop off of it.
He's got to hurry up and get back now. It's a possible 5-on-3.
Ridnour drops it back for Hansen. Hansen will play it into the near corner. Ridnour behind the net. Power play is over for Santa Rosa. Hansen, who had 2 assists in the game on Friday night, whiffs on the pass. It's stolen by Mooney, and he gives forward for the hard charging shot into the middle of the pads of Pavsik, and he holds on the heavy wrister delivered there by Vieira.
I believe that's actually Tyler Barone. Yeah, Tyler Barone. Tyler Barone coming in, streaking down that left-hand wing, looking oddly reminiscent of a very important goal he scored in last year's playoffs against the UC San Diego Tritons.
Santa Rosa wins the draw, unable to get the clearance. It's sent behind the net where Spears forces the pass along the near side boards. Able to come away with the intercept for a moment. But now in the far corner, Tim Buchter plays it forward. Off the stick of Tommy Denon. Now he controls and carries it in on the backhand up the near side boards. Big hit delivered by Valois. Able to separate the man from the puck is Blount. Play it up the far wing. Cooper Spears drops it off for Jag Lawrence. Lawrence will just backhand it from his own side of the red line, slowly into the Santa Rosa zone. Played forward, hops the stick at Jackson Waldron. Blount on his backhand will wheel with it behind the net. Blount tries to play it back to his defense partner. Stopped up there by Waldron, but help coming, and UCSB able to get the clear. Lawrence gives it up for Spears. Spears along the near side wall, throws it, he shoots and scores! Pavsik didn't have the near post sealed, and Spears doubles the delight of the Locos at Ice in Paradise. 2-0 UCSB.
And Pavsik's body language after letting that one in he knows that one should have been a stop. But give a little bit of credit to Jag Lawrence as well, who made a hard charging move to the near side post to sort of just take that attention away from Pavsik just a little bit, and the shot comes through at exactly the right moment, sneaks underneath the glove hand of the left-handed catching goaltender, and the Gauchos double their lead to 2-0.
5th goal of the season for Cooper Spears for Jag Lawrence. That's his 3rd assist. Santa Rosa quickly able to get a chance in from the slot, and Brownlee had it stubbed wide. Far side boards. Katasic backhands it behind the net where Brownlee will retrieve. Brownlee, blind backhand pass into the slot, cleared away to the line, but held in there for Santa Rosa. Katasic will take the backhand dump from Kashishian behind the net. Gauchos will reverse and get the puck out through the near point. Puck is intercepted. Kyle Mooney carries in for the near wing. Back across for Kevin. His shot off the stick of Pabros and goes wide. Gauchos continue to control. Kevin gives for Kyle. Back for Kevin. 2 men on him. He sends it to the point. Nice hold by Slisenko, but stepping up on him. Katasic able to force the giveaway, but with it, Kashishian shoots at the length of the sheet from his own side of the red line. Icing. Offensive zone faceoff coming for the Gauchos with 7:25 to go in the first period.
And worth noting, a difference between the ACHA and the more familiar National Hockey League rules. On an icing, you are allowed to change players in the ACHA, so the Gauchos do not get the advantage of having to go against tired legs for Santa Rosa. Santa Rosa getting a line change.
3rd line out there for the Gauchos against the nickel line for Santa Rosa. Van Duzer wins the draw. Calcio plays it back to the line where Slisenko sends it to the near corner. Pass across the shot. Hyman couldn't get all on it as Ridnour tied him up. Rolled it in on Pavsik, and he freezes it.
And that's an important defensive play from Ridnour there, as a Gaucho had snuck down into the far post. I believe that's number 13, so that would be Greg Hyman. Had snuck down into that far post, and it was just a last-second effort to tie him up and prevent a good contact on that shot from possibly making this a 3-0 lead.
Good defensive zone face-off win by Nickel. Santa Rosa able to get the clear, but too far, and it goes for icing.
Important to note that this game is starting an awful lot like the last game between these two teams did. The atmosphere maybe not quite as electric out here at Ice in Paradise today, but the Gauchos once again look like they're playing well. They're feeling it. They're skating. They're passing. They're hitting tape. They're hitting tape of their teammates with their passes. It's important to make sure that they keep their foot on the gas and stay focused for the rest of this game, because as we're barely 10 minutes into this one.
Van Duzer off the steal. Now a whistle and a penalty call coming here against Santa Rosa. The UCSB power play that's 1 for 1 will get another opportunity as Josiah Nickel sits down for a slash.
And that's the one you want off the ice if you are a Gaucho right now. Nickel, the undoubted influential player in all situations, including the penalty kill, takes away one of the big threats for a shorthanded goal. Granted, that's not the only one, though, as jumping over the board comes John Kashishian. Got to keep an eye out on him for a penalty killer.
Barone on the draw against Brownlee. And Brownlee wins it. Nice job on the hold by Slisenko at the far point. Barone to the slot. Shot save made on the hard, heavy wrister by Justin Goldser, and the clear by Kashishian. Rolls in on Penn. She'll paddle it over for Slisenko. Curls around the net, gathers speed. Feeds for Barone, who will carry in. He dances across the blue line to the near point where he leaves it for Piagai. Piagai for Barone along the near side wall. Back for Dimitri at the point. Saucers it to the corner. Barone, shot, hit a defender. Gets it back top of the near circle and sends for Piagai. Piagai played through the legs of Barone. Van Duzer dropped it back to him to send for Piagai. His shot deflected in front, goes wide. Goldser back for Van Duzer. Barone for Piagai. 1:05 to go in the power play. Piagai to the corner for Van Duzer. Van Duzer interchanges with Barone. Feeds for Goldser. Goldser underneath the goal line. Tries a backhand pass. It's swatted by Pabros, but Goldser able to regather for Piagai. Straight away. His wrister blocked by the stick of Kashishian, and he gets a big clear.
And that's a very big clear for Santa Rosa, as about 1 minute and 15 seconds of that power play consecutively in the Santa Rosa end. So a big clear to get fresh legs on the ice for the defending team.
30 seconds remaining in the Gaucho power play. Under 5:30 to go in the first period as UCSB leads it 2-0. Curling in his own end, Cooper Spears now attacks into the offensive zone up the left wing. Spears backhands it back to the point. Blount, heavy wrister, kick to the near point by Papsik.
Papsik didn't know he made that save. He was looking behind him for a second.
Vieira did well on the activation to move it down into the corner. Damgard back to the line for Vieira. Power play over for UCSB as Damgard curls. His shot sticked away to the far face-off circle by Pavsik, and off to the races go the Polar Bears. But it's 2-on-3 as Nickel try to pass back across the slot. Nice job on the back check by Damgard. Sent to the point for Osborne. Osborne shot from the top of the far circle, goes wide. Rebound sent off the outside of the post by Nickel. Rebound chance, and Penn on her wallet, able to make the save and keep it out of the net and keep it a 2-0 game.
And it's the old bank off the end boards play that Josiah Nickel was the beneficiary of, and he just put a little backhander, just narrowly missing the inside of the left post. Almost snuck that in through there, and Penn was nowhere to be found on that rebound. It's just a quick bang-bang play that, as a goaltender, very difficult to stop because you don't necessarily know when or where the puck is going to come out. Nickel saw it the whole way, and Penn did a great job to scramble and make some reactionary saves to keep that one out.
Draw stalemated as it's sent to the corner for Slisenko. Backhands around to the left corner. Valois can't get it out. Ridnour plays it deeper. Slisenko, back-checking pressure coming from LaBroucherie. UCSB able to get the clear out. Oh, here's a chance for a possible odd man shot. Save made by Pavsek. He closes it up on Hurley. Sent back to the line. Slisenko holds in. His wrister is blocked in front. Mooney has it stick checked away, but Slisenko comes up with it for Kyle along the far end boards. Kyle on his backhand will carry it behind the net. tries to feather a pass out in front. Ridnour blocks it, falls down. Mooney will kick it with his skates to his stick in the right corner. Back to the point for Sasenko. He's got a good wrist shot, goes for the tip play. Kevin just can't get a stick on it, but he'll track it down in the near corner. Kevin curls with it. Back to the line, held in Valois. Valois, wrister, deflects to the far corner. Kyle with it there. Curls to the top of the high slot. Dances, now pass, backdoor, bang bang play, and a save made by Pavsik. He shuts the door on Kevin. Kevin with it again, shot from the top of the far circle, and a save made by Pavsik, and he holds with 3:18 to go in the first.
And that's going to do some wonders for Pavsik's confidence. He hasn't really looked too focused and too really engaged in this game just yet, but getting two very big saves right there, including absolutely denying a very good goal scorer in Kevin Mooney right on the side of the goal crease, and then getting the follow-up rebound as well, swallowing that right into the breadbasket. Two solid saves from the goaltender for Santa Rosa.
And Pavsik is unique as a goaltender goes. He also has played as a defender for Santa Rosa Junior College, playing 5 games as a skater last season. At the line, shot goes wide of the glove side. Sent back in front, it banks in! Dominic Cosio makes it 3-0 Gauchos as from underneath the red line, his backhander banks off the left skate of Pavsik and in!
And that one, I would argue, was probably intended to be a pass from Cosio, just right out into the front of the goal crease. He won't tell you otherwise if you ask him after the game. He will tell you he absolutely planned to do that, but more likely a attempted pass just finds the bottom of the skate of the goaltender Pavsik, and just a bounce unlucky as a goaltender, and the Gauchos are up 3-0.
Cosio's first of the season. I feel like we've seen this before, as off the face-off, Santa Rosa will ice it.
No tortillas flying through the air tonight, though, unlike Friday night aired Ice in Paradise.
And we did see Friday night a bench minor assessed to the fans after the initial tortilla barrage. The official said, okay, that's cute, but if that happens again, you get a bench minor. He ended up getting 2 for tortillas in the second period.
First time I think I've ever heard that penalty being called.
Off the draw, Santa Rosa able to get it out to neutral ice, but Vieira will shoot it back into the right corner. Curls around the end boards, or Hyman gives for Cosio. Cosio backhands it for Hyman. Hyman throws it across the slot. Comes in the near side boards where Vieira will drag it deeper. Hyman pushed to the boards by Buchter. Plays it forward, and the backhand feed links up with Nickel. Nickel trying to stretch ahead for Hansen. Santa Barbara stops him up at their defensive blue line. Now the Gauchos look to skate away with it, but Nickel comes up with the steal. Nickel will curl with it and take it in up the left wing. Nickel draws. Nickel into the slot. Shot saved by Penn. She swipes the rebound to the left corner. Nickel back to the corner. It's intercepted. And we'll go for Piagai. Piagai plays it off the end boards. It's slowed up at the red line and able to be regathered by Tim Buchter. For Nickel, who will sweep it into the zone. Backhand attempted clear. Doesn't work for Piagai. Rolled in on the backhand with one hand on the stick by Hansen. And Penn will elect to freeze it with 107 seconds to go in the first period. 3-0 Santa Barbara.
And that last rush by Josiah Nickel, where he seemed to have all the time in the world on the puck, was created because of just an inadvertent little passive screen from Larry Hansen to take the trailing man away from Nickel and give him the open ice he needed to skate in on goal.
Pabros off the draw. Shot blockered behind the net. And on the rebound, it's tipped home between the pads of Nora Penn. An important goal for Santa Rosa in the waning minutes of this first period. It had just enough to squeak over the goal line and make it 3-1.
And unfortunate for Penn there, she just quite didn't get enough on there. Almost had it. And with 1 and 41 seconds left, I honestly, just being perfectly honest, I didn't fully see how that one squeaked through her. But a big goal, as you said, for Santa Rosa to try to maybe get a little bit of the momentum back here before the first intermission.
Kashishian gets his first of the season for Santa Rosa. And now it's 3-1, and the Polar Bears controlling their own end. Sean Pabros pass deflects to the high slot, but Brownlee with it up the near side boards. Blount steals, plays forward. Pass at the red line. Bounces for Damgard. Damgard dangles. Damgard curling behind the net on the backhand. Damgard back to the line for Slisenko. Slisenko shot through traffic off the shin pad of Pabros and out to center. Blount takes a slash on the wrist as he gets it back in, but Ridnour plays forward for goal scorer Kashishian. On the forecheck, his boot gets in the way, so the puck sent behind the net by Blount. Jag Lawrence swept along behind the net, but Santa Rosa comes away with the steal. Brownlee pass to the far circle for Nickel. Nickel behind the net. Nickel, 40 seconds to go in the period for Pabros. His shot from the far circle screams wide, gets by Ridnour and out to center. Puck rolling on edge as Ridnour along the near side boards, bothered by Spears, but Nickel comes away with it and has it taken away by Barone. 20 seconds to go in the first period as Ridnour stands up at his own blue line and chips the attempted dump in away. Nickel has the puck taken away by Spears. Spears' pass couldn't link up with Barone. Now here's Nickel with 10 seconds on the clock. Nickel carries in. He stood up defensively by Valois. Puck goes to the corner. Barone will gather it there. A whistle and a penalty on the way here. A high stick, which is 4.8 to go in the first.
I think that was just a puck played with a high stick, but I can't. Is sick? Nope, never mind. It is going to be Barone that's going. Good call.
So for the second time today, UCSB to the penalty kill as Barone takes a seat. Gauchos were able to kill off a tripping minor to Dominic Cosio, who scored Santa Barbara's third goal of the game. They lead it 3-1. But a good opportunity for Santa Rosa. Maybe not here, but you'll have to start the second.
4.8 seconds is enough time to get a quick playoff, but a good face-off.
Tied up on the draw by Herlihy. Sent across the slot for Nickel. Tries to throw it in front, and we've run out of racetrack for the first period of play. UCSB on the strength of a power play goal from Kevin Mooney. Cooper Spears tallying his 5th of the season, and then Dominic Cosio banking it in, staked the Gauchos to a 3-0 lead. A late goal for Santa Rosa as John Kashishian able to slip it between the pads of Penn to make it a 2-goal Gaucho advantage after the first period of play.
And a little bit unfortunate for the Gauchos to let that one in down there towards the end. And now it's important that they follow up this intermission with a good, strong penalty kill in order to not let another potentially momentum-swinging goal go in early on in the second period. Goals within, I'd say, like about roughly the first 3 minutes and about the last 3 minutes of each period tend to be the biggest one in terms of dictating the pace and the flow of the game. Who's going to be controlling a lot of the game, particularly in these early stages, and even it can set the tone going all the way through the frame if Santa Rosa is able to get one early. And it appears as though we're going to be doing chuck-a-puck again this game.
That's always fun when you come
Not quite as
here
many pucks going out this time.
to
Well, there's a few more.
Ice in Paradise. Reminder that next weekend your Gauchos will be on the road. 2 games against the University of California Golden Bears from up in Oakland. We will have both games broadcast audio only on MixLR, mixlr.com/icehockeyucsb. Be sure to visit the official website of Gaucho Hockey at ucsbhockey.com to find out about start time as well as the live listen link so you can join us when the Gauchos go on the road next weekend. And Kyle, last year we had the opportunity to go down as far south as Orange County in covering ice hockey at UCSB, seeing an entertaining game in the first meeting between the two teams down there between Chapman and UCSB. This is the first time the Gauchos going north.
And it's always a lot of fun as a player when you're traveling and going north, mainly because it's a longer trip wherever you go. Really, at this point, the next team going further up north for Santa Barbara is also inward, but it's also in a league that they don't play against. It would be Fresno State. But beyond that, you start getting up towards San Francisco. You start going up towards San Jose State. and then Santa Rosa up in that area as well. So it's a longer trip. It's a lot of fun because the team has a lot of bonding activities that they do together. You get to room with guys, you get to know everyone a little bit better, and it presents a new set of challenges that you also have to overcome as a player as well. The whole idea of keeping your legs fresh and moving, especially considering that the team will probably be traveling the same day that they will be playing on Friday. It's always a lot more difficult to travel and then play same day because your legs are sitting for a good several hours in order to actually make it up there. So another challenge, I guess you could say, but also a lot of fun. I bet the guys are looking forward to it, getting away from Ice in Paradise and getting away from the Santa Barbara area as well for a little while.
Those games from Oakland coming up Friday and Saturday next weekend. As mentioned, we'll have them for you audio only at mixlr.com/icehockeyUCSB. Well, the Gauchos lead it 3-1 after the first 20 minutes of play. Time to take a look at the official scoring summary brought to you by the official website of ice hockey at UCSB, www.ucsbhockey.com. It is your home for the Gauchos at the rink on the web. For UCSB, they take advantage of an early cross-checking penalty against Tim Buchter. Just 42 seconds into the game, well, it took them less than a minute to deposit the puck in the net thereafter. 54 seconds to be exact, as Kevin Mooney scored his first goal of the season. Mooney, who scored 7 goals in 4 games last year.
Seems kind of crazy it took him more than 1 game to start.
At UCSB, he is a player that certainly loves to score goals, plays roller hockey as well. Last year playing for the Gauchos Division I roller hockey team in 17 games, had 30 goals and 20 assists. 2 of those were winners, as well as 1 on the power play for the roller Gauchos, if you will. 1:36 into the game here, though. His power play goal, the first power play goal of the season for ice hockey at UCSB, made it 1-0. Santa Barbara doubled their delight with a goal by Cooper Spears, assisted by Jag Lawrence at the 11:31 mark. For Spears, 5 goals, Kyle, now this season. I know that you've been deservedly patting yourself on the back for pointing him out in the preseason preview podcast, but he just seems to always find the spot where he can best create offense in the zone for UCSB.
Well, if there was fantasy hockey for the ACHA, I'd say Cooper Spears is definitely a lock that you should pick up this year. Absolutely spectacular offensive skills as a player, plays both ends of the ice very well, and is very smart with the puck as well, even seeing that in just the first period here. Making some good decisions, not necessarily even just to set up scoring, but to help the team progress the puck from their own end into the offensive zone, specifically on that power play. Watching him skate the puck in down the left wing, draw the defenders in towards him using his speed, pulling up, passing back to the point, and as a result, the Gauchos were set up and got a lengthy shift in their own, in the offensive end while on the power play. Setting up was a major problem for this Gaucho team, especially on the later in the game power plays on Friday.
UCSB did have another opportunity on the power play after a slashing penalty by Josiah Nickel, but came up empty. UCSB goes 1 for 2 in the first period with the man advantage. But after the power play, the 16:56 mark, Dominic Cosio scores his first goal as a Gaucho, the freshman from Denver, Colorado, backhanding the puck from underneath the red line, banking it in off the pad of goalie Jacob Pavsek, and making it 3-0 for UCSB, as the Gauchos had the same lead that they did after the first period in the game on Friday night. Kyle, you said at the time that Cosio's going to tell you he meant to do that. Those are the kind of goals, though, that you saw the reaction from Santa Rosa after it went in. It was one of those look to the sky and, man, is this seriously going to happen to us right now?
Just one of those moments where as a player you sit there and you look and you go, this is how this game is going to be going, really? Just one of those things where, the hockey gods give and the hockey gods taketh away. And fortunately for the Polar Bear fans who may be listening to us, the hockey gods then return just a little bit later.
Correct, as John Kashishian scored his first goal of the season. Kashishian sneaking it between the legs of Nora Penn, from the right post. It was a puck that just barely slithered over the red line. UCSB defender tried to pull it out before it crossed the threshold. However, it does, and gives us the 3-1 scoreline after the first 20 minutes of play. Kyle, for UCSB, disappointing to give that goal up, particularly coming in the final 2 minutes of the period.
Yeah, the momentum-changing goals, as I mentioned just a little bit earlier, very important, especially when you know you're going to be going to the locker room relatively soon. You want to make sure that you dot your I's, you cross your T's, and you make sure you keep your coverage in check. And this is just one of those times where all it took was just a little bit of extra space out there, and just a more or less, I don't want to say a bad luck puck, but one that Nora Penn is probably going to be wishing that she just was able to squeeze the pads a little bit tighter in order to prevent that puck from just slithering through and keeping the game at 3-0 instead of the 3-1 where we currently stand.
And of course, Santa Rosa will be on the power play to begin the second period thanks to the high sticking penalty taken by Tyler Barone in that first period with 4 seconds remaining. For Barone, that would be, for this season, his first penalty taken. Kyle, we heard in the pregame show, speaking with head coach Scott Hires, that he doesn't want to see this Gaucho team being near the tops in the ACHA for penalty minutes. Well, Christian Okpish, with his 24 penalty minutes taken in the game on Friday night, 2 penalties, 1 for roughing, 1 for unsportsmanlike conduct, getting the 10-minute misconduct, and then the game misconduct. That goes down for 10 as well as the disqualification. That's more penalty minutes than anybody put up last year for ice hockey at UCSB. But how do you think the Gauchos were able to control themselves in that first period of play and not necessarily let the heat or emotion of the moment overwhelm them and boil over?
Well, I think the Gauchos actually did a good job keeping a pretty level head through that first period. The Casio tripping penalty being one that you really kind of want to take. Just he got beat by his man, and so he stuck the stick out and brought him down in order to prevent a scoring chance. You file that one away. Under penalties you don't want to have to take, but when you do take them, they're good penalties to take just to prevent a scoring chance from going the other way. And he brought down a pretty good player, too. If memory serves me right, it was Max Brownlee that he did bring down. It's a speedy player. He scored 2 goals last game. If you're going to miss the coverage a little bit, make up for it. Take the guy down, take the penalty, give them the opportunity. And the Gauchos actually also came through defensively on their end, and they killed that one off.
That in mind, and talking about the penalty kill, what was your read on the power play in the opening 20 minutes? Obviously, you get the first power play goal of the season off the stick of Kevin Mooney. What did you like in comparison to how the power play was working on Friday night?
The power play seems to be really clicking here. Every time they get the puck over the blue line, it seems like there's at least 30 to 45 seconds of puck possession, cycling, moving the puck, trying to get it into the softer areas of the ice. And a lot of credit to Santa Rosa for not opening and not cracking and leaving those there. But the Gauchos really appear to be moving and attempting to wear down the penalty kill. They know they are up against an opponent that played on not only Friday, but also last night when they faced Long Beach State, and they've had to travel this whole time. The penalty killing shifts, the shorthanded shifts, the ones in the defensive zone, are the hardest ones as a player to play. So going up against some tired players, they're working the clock, they're working the puck around the zone using the perimeter, and letting the penalty kill wear themselves out before attempting to stab the puck into a softer area of the ice and attempt to get a scoring chance as well. So the power play has looked very good. They've looked controlled. They've looked like they've had a strategy going through it, and you can see the effectiveness, especially later on as the penalty kills wear on. They're getting pucks into those dangerous areas of the ice.
And it'll be something that you can be sure head coach Blake Johnson is impressing upon his Santa Rosa Junior College team in the locker room right now. Cannot afford to take penalties against this UCSB team, considering, as you mentioned, Kyle, it is Game 3 of a 3-game weekend for Santa Rosa Junior College, and also seeing how the Gauchos were able to, as you said, set up, establish, and really do pretty much what they wanted in the zone on their power play opportunities so far in the game. What else if you have the coach's clipboard for the Polar Bears, are you telling your team after the first 20 minutes of play?
Honestly, I'm just saying keep going and keep playing your game. I don't think Santa Rosa played that bad in that period. I thought they actually were pretty strong almost all sections of their game. You can see that they are a little bit down in the energy, but that's natural when you're playing 3 games in a weekend. Playing 2 games back-to-back alone is hard, let alone playing 3 in a weekend in a row, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So obviously the energy's down a little bit, but that's something that you can come to expect. And I feel like, honestly, as the coach in there, I'm saying just make sure you keep to your defensive strategy. So let's stay out of the box and prevent those really energy-sapping penalty-killing shifts to the best we can. But just keep going, especially getting that goal there late. You know, it seemed as though the legs started to pick up a little bit once that one went in as well. And it's pretty easy to gain energy off of a good shift that results in a goal like that. So for Santa Rosa, just kind of keep the course. Things will start falling in place, and I think they're in pretty good shape going into the second period, especially having a pretty lengthy power play still to go.
Be sure to get social with Ice Hockey at UCSB. Facebook at facebook.com/icehockeyucsb. Follow on Twitter at UCSB Ice Hockey. SoundCloud, where you can download the full audio play-by-play broadcast. Listen back to it as well, is soundcloud.com/icehockeyucsb. And as we mentioned in talking about the road trip coming up to the University of California next weekend, Friday and Saturday, you can listen to an audio-only broadcast of Ice Hockey at UCSB action at mixlr.com/icehockeyucsb. That'll be the first time, Kyle, that we see crossover between the Gauchos and a Pac-8 team. UC Berkeley, one of the founding members of that league. They've won it just once. What do you think it is as far as a yardstick, a fence post moment for this program to be taking on a Pac-8 side, to be taking on another UC?
And it's also not an easy game that the Gauchos will be playing. Berkeley's looked pretty good this year so far. They've already beaten the likes of some powerhouses like USC. They've already beaten several schools that have gone up and faced them. They obviously started a little bit earlier than the Gauchos did. I think they have about 3 or 4 games under their belt already. But it's going to be a tough test for the Gauchos, especially coming off a very physical game like this one. They're probably going to have to adjust and play a game that's going to be a little bit more a little bit more quick, a little bit more speed oriented, and one that's going to really test their ability to play with possession. So Cal's a very balanced school. They're a very balanced team. They've got a lot of players that can do really whatever the coaching staff needs them to. So it'll be a difficult thing to prepare for the coaching staff this week. The practices will be interesting, but I think the Gauchos are up for the challenge, and it'll be an interesting road trip.
Be sure to visit ucsbhockey.com for the full information about the broadcast and how you can listen to it coming up next weekend. And reminder, if you would like to contribute a donation or a gift to the Ice Hockey at UCSB program, be sure to get in contact with team advisor Susan Goodale. Susan.goodale@ucsb.edu is the email address to do so. Goodale spelled Goodale, or you can give her a call at 805-893-3530, 893-3530. Well, Santa Rosa returning to the clean sheet here at the Snyder Rink at Ice in Paradise with 1 minute and 56 seconds remaining in carryover power play time, Kyle. And this is always a talking point that you hear on NHL broadcasts, having the fresh sheet of ice with the opportunity on the odd man. Now, it seems more often than not that that does not do much in the way of helping to build momentum for the team, and despite the clean sheet, if you will, unable to score on the power play, doesn't seem to be as much an advantage as one might think with how often you hear about it on NHL broadcast. In your experience, does having a fresh sheet help with the offense in an odd man opportunity?
Oh, it always feels good under your feet having a fresh sheet of ice over there. You don't have as many bumps or little cracks or nicks in the ice that are going to force your skates to kind of go in, erratic at any moment. But you also have the ability for the puck to move smoothly, so the passes are going to be a little crisper, the puck moves faster, stuff's going to go tape to tape, and it's a little harder to defend against a puck that's going to go faster than you can skate, which is pretty much at any point in the game. But when you have that faster ice underneath the puck, you also have the ability to move the puck around your opponent a lot better as well. So it's going to help especially a lot on this power play for Santa Rosa to be able to keep the puck away from the Gauchos, and they'll be able to play with it a little bit more, and eventually for them, hopefully work it into some of the softer areas to get a few more scoring chances in on Nora Penn. They didn't really have too many of them in the first period, but they were able to score on the one big one that they did happen to get.
Penn getting ready for the start of the second period in the net directly in front of our broadcast position. And Kyle, we've talked about her experience playing for the Germering Wanderers in German's Munich State League. It's really an amazing story, her as an international student coming to UCSB. You may note on the broadcast that she has equipment that is red and white. That is actually not her personal set of equipment.
It was borrowed from, I guess, I don't know if it's the lost and found or just like a municipal gear pool here at the rink. Fortunately, it fits. Her gear is on the way, though, according to the coaching staff, so hopefully that'll be here later this week. And she's been good with the borrowed gear. Let's see how she does with her own.
We'll see how she does against this second Santa Rosa power play of the game as we're back to action. Gauchos defending the right net here in the second period as Josiah Nickel carries in up the left wing for the Polar Bears. Sent back to the point. Teed up for Ridnour. Ridnour knocked off the puck for a moment by Heineman. But now Kashishian holds with it near boards at the hash. Kashishian for Ridnour will send for Brownlee. Brownlee near face-off circle, back for Ridnour. Loads, fires, tipped, and score! It's a power play goal for Santa Rosa. I don't know if it hit the skate of the defender for UCSB or the man in front, Jackson Waldron, but that big slap shot of Colin Ridnour results in the second Polar Bear goal of the game, just 30 seconds into the second period.
And Penn appears to be none too happy with the defense in front of her for not clearing that puck out. Not clearing the man out from in front of the net. I believe, as you said, that was tipped on the way in, so not much you can do as a goaltender when the puck does change direction so quickly in front of you. Unfortunately for the Gauchos, that puck goes in early, and this is a hockey game all over again, 3-2, and the momentum's clearly in the path of Santa Rosa right now.
Carrying in Larry Hansen, tried to split the seam in the middle, taken away by Blount and banked off the boards into the Polar Bear zone. Giveaway for Mooney, shot save, rebound! And Kyle screams it wide. Puck held in at the right point for a moment by Piagai, but then pushed back out to neutral ice. 5 players jammed forward, 3 of them in navy blue uniforms. The Polar Bears win it. Pabros switches for Buchter, who will try and play it along the near side boards. Chipped up in the air. Hansen comes back to help. He'll play it off the high glass, and Blount holds it in. Backhands it up into the rafters. It deflected off the stick of a Santa Rosa player. So an offensive zone faceoff coming for the Gauchos. A game that's now 3-2, a minute and 18 seconds into period number 2.
And Blount was fortunate to get to that puck just before the Santa Rosa pressure got to him. If he would have been just a split second later than that, that puck was probably gone from his stick, and it was a 2-on-0 the other way. Blount being the last man back there, not even facing his own goaltender.
First line out there for the Gauchos, but Santa Rosa wins the draw, and Kashishian stringing in at the left wing. His attempted pass deflects off the stick of Slisenko into the netting in front of our broadcast position, right along the goal line at the right side of the rink here at Ice in Paradise. So Penn will see a face-off to her right.
And the Polar Bears appear to have a lot of energy coming out of the locker room. That goal coming right off the first shift, obviously being a big boost to that one as well. But the Gauchos really need to look for a big response right here.
Kashishian wins another draw. Ridnour's slap shot deflects out in front. Kashishian sends it wide, but it's picked up by Brownlee in the corner. Back to the line. The shot deflects off the boot of Spears. Ridnour able to hold it in at the far point, sends it behind the net. Brownlee along the near side boards had it swept away by Piagai, but Kashishian gets it in the corner. Barone knocked him off it. Piagai sweeps it along the near side boards. It goes back down into the corner, and Piagai will play this up off the glass and off the rink. So another defensive zone draw. And Kyle, something that we haven't talked about very much are the face-off performance. Kashishian has the first goal of the game for Santa Rosa, and he has been a beast on the dot for the Bears.
As a lot of the professional play-by-play and color commentators would say, he has been nails in the face-off circle. It's so invaluable to have someone who is so dependable on the faceoff dot, knowing that you can get that possession to start the play.
Jackson Waldron won the draw. Santa Rosa with a chance. Shot, glove save, Penn. Rebound is sitting there, and it'll finally be cleared to the line, but not out. Shot into the scrum of bodies. Looked like it may have hit a polar bear player as John Zerbe's shot deflects to the far corner. Big hit delivered on Justin Goldser. Fourth line out there for the Gauchos. Goldser, now a chance for a 3-on-1. Gives for Damgard. Damgard shoots, pad save, Pavsic. Rebound picked up by Poliuso. He drops it for Damgard in the left corner. Damgard fans on the pass. Puck taken away by Santa Rosa. It's like the third line out there for Blake Johnson's crew as Vieira shoots it back in. In the near corner, Damgard engages with defenseman Alec Runge. They continue to battle away for it. Goldser in there in support. Puck comes free, and behind the net, wheeling with it, Josiah Nickel will take it up the far sideboards. Separated from the puck at the red line, but the Polar Bears able to feather it in. Jackson Waldron goes off for a change. Vieira up the boards. Pass just hops the stick of Causio. Tim Buchter back to pick it up in his own end. The feed at the red line, tipped by Nickel. Vieira by Hansen. Nice recovery by Vieira. Sends it for Hyman along the far sideboards. He is. And a penalty. Tommy Dad Hyman in the train tracks. And the official along the near side board says, you can't do that. Power play coming for the Gauchos.
Textbook charging penalty, and it's always kind of funny to see those get called because Tommy Denon clearly thinks, oh, I was just going for the hit. But, yeah, there were a good 6 or 7 strides going in there for that hit. So player targeting hit, that many strides going into it, that's about as black and white as the rule book gets on that particular infraction. So big moment coming up for the Gauchos here, and I think they're lobbying that this should be all the way down in their end because it is starting power play, but I'm not sure if that rule is different from the NHL. In the NHL, this would be a face-off in the Santa Rosa end. I guess not.
Well, the penalty occurred in the Gaucho defensive zone, so the face-off in neutral territory. Outside of it, won by Kyle Mooney. He's out there with Andrew Vieira and Eric Valois. The forwards, Kevin and Kyle, working with Mitchell Poliuso, who has it along the near side boards, but has it taken away to the line, hops the stick of Valois, and Penn will stop it up along the left post for Valois to come back and retrieve. Gauchos recoil, and Vieira will carry across the red line. Chips it into the right corner, UCSB offside with 1 minute and 28 seconds to go in the second period. And as we listen to the music played here, it's John Cena.
Well, much like John Cena, we can't really see the offense on this power play either at the moment.
Look at you.
I'm not much of a wrestling guy, but I do know the whole you can't see me thing, maybe mainly because the internet has taken that one like crazy.
Same power play unit out there for the Gauchos, leading 3-2. We've played 4 minutes here in the second period. Draw is stalemated and ultimately cleared by Katasic. Valois switches with Vieira. Josiah Nickel, the captain for Santa Rosa, the tip of the spear, the penalty kill here. Vieira gives along the sideboards for Poliuso, who switches for Valois. Valois back to the point for Kyle. Kyle leaves it for Vieira. Vieira, penalty killers in a box for Santa Rosa. For Valois, left point. Valois to the right point for Vieira. 50 seconds to go in the power play as it's switched for Kyle. Kevin pirouetting in the left corner. Now spins back away. Bottom of the near circle, back to the line. Valois loads, fires. It deflects off the stick of a Santa Rosa player and goes behind the net. Kyle Mooney back to the line for Valois. Switches to an all-open Vieira. Pass across the slot. He gets it back at the top of the far circle. Shoots, tip play. Save made Pavsic. Rebound. Back out to Vieira. Switches for Kevin. 15 seconds to go in the power play as Valois with it for Kevin. To the high slot for Kyle. Drags around the stick. Good penalty killing here from Santa Rosa, keeping the Gauchos on the perimeter. Valois tries to shoot it. It's blocked. Comes back to Kyle. Kyle, top of the far circle, sends bottom of the far circle out in front. Pavsic slides, makes the stop. Power play is over. Kevin dangling away from Denon. Knocked down. Kyle bounced it behind the net. Poliuso tries a backdoor pass. It hops the stick of Kevin. He'll send it to the line for Blount. Blount, shot, tipped, score! It changed directions in front of Pavsic and leaked between the pads to put the Gauchos back ahead by 2 again.
And that appears to be a theme of the game so far here this evening. Deflected shots finding their ways just between the pads or just beyond the goaltenders. I think that's the 3rd goal that's been off a deflected shot here this game. So great presence of mind from Blount to let that one go and keep it low to the ice and wait for the bounce, and hopefully they got something fortuitous. The Gauchos did, and they've got the 2-goal lead back, and that one's big, coming on the heels of a power play that looked like it was doing pretty well, but ultimately nothing coming from it.
Jag Lawrence on the drive. Tried to put it in front. Santa Rosa able to clear it all the way down the ice. This one won't go far enough for icing. Kevin Mooney is announced as an assist on the goal, so make it a 2-point game for him. That goal not on the power play, but as you mentioned, Kyle, the Gauchos had possession in the attack end almost the entire time. Tyler Barone up the right wing. Barone backhand to the front. Lawrence couldn't get it through to Pavsic. And this one is bounced back out off the far sideboards, where Blount will have to come back into his own end and retrieve as the Polar Bears will freshen up their forward troops. Stretch pass for Spears. Spears, his shot from the near face-off dot deflects off a stick to the far side boards. Blount holds in behind the net. Backhand pass to the slot by Lawrence was intercepted by Buchter, and he's able to get the clear. Ahead, here's Kadasic up the left wing. 2-on-1 chance, maybe. Kadasic across. Couldn't connect with Kashishian, but it goes back to the point. Santa Rosa shot, tipped, deflected by Kadasic, just wide of the far post. Kadasic has it taken away by Slisenko. Slisenko lost it in the feet of Hyman, so Santa Rosa able to send it back behind Penn's cage. Blount, man coming, sends it, and it'll be held in by Brownlee for Kashishian in the near boards. Kashishian met by 2 men at the face-off dot, drags it behind the cage, throws it in front, off of Hyman, rolls wide, and Hyman will pick it up in the far corner. Lead for Spears. Tips it off the blade. It'll slowly roll up the near boards. Spears in on the drive. Backhander. Where is it? Pavsic down in the butterfly. Didn't know he had it, but he did. And he holds for the draw with 12:17 to go in the second period.
And that's about the 3rd or the 4th huge hit that Cooper Spears has taken driving towards the post like that. You can see the Santa Rosa strategy of doing everything they can to knock him off his game and rough him up whenever he gets in, obviously victimizing them 4 times last game and once already here tonight.
Nickel controls off the draw. Shoots. Pad save by Penn. Flares it to the far corner. Behind the net, Hunter Van Duzer. Pressured by Denon. Get help to get it to the line. Held in, though, by Nickel. Vieira out there with Piagai, the normal top pairing for the Gauchos. There, but it's taken away along the near side boards and sent deeper by Nickel. Larry Hansen buried along the far boards by Piagai, but Nickel has it. Nickel has it stick checked away behind the net. Van Duzer to the point, and now he deflects an attempted wrister. Nickel whiffs on a backhand attempt in the slot. Denon, though, with it at the far face-off dot. Passes for Hansen. He tried to get it to the slot for Nickel. Sent to the line. Top of the far face-off circle. Off the stick of Hyman. Calcio gives for Van Duzer. Gauchos cannot get the clear, though. Backhanded in by Hansen. Piagai up the boards for Hyman. Can't connect with Van Duzer, but unable to hold in Pabros.
And the Gauchos fortunate there as well. That was not a very good clearing attempt. Just kind of snuck under the stick of the defending Polar Bear player.
Piagai curls behind his own net. Leaves for Vieira. Vieira in the near corner. Uses the high boards along the near side to send it out where Ridnow regathers in his own end. Touch pass for Kashishian at the Polar Bear blue line. He'll leave a drop pass. And taken by Brownlee. Into the zone. Shot from the top of the near circle. Saved by Penn. It jumps off her chest protector to the near side boards. Kashishian sending it for Brownlee. Brownlee behind the net. Brownlee, Beaver tailing in the slot. Shot goes wide by Kashishian, who was looking for his second of the game. Big hit delivered by Hyman as Giampoli able to hold the line, but the pass to the slot intercepted by Poliuso. Poliuso with Goldser on the opposite wing. Poliuso drives on the backhand. His pass across. Skitters to the far corner. Hyman for Goldser in front. A whistle and a stoppage in play by the official. And I'm not sure why the whistle went.
Yeah, the puck was nowhere near the goaltender. I'm wondering if the net was maybe off back behind Jacob Pavsik, or maybe it looks like the helmet might have come loose, and if that were the case, that is an automatic whistle both in the NHL and the ACHA. You want to make sure the goaltender has that bucket on at all times.
So a face-off coming to the left of Polar Bear goalie Jacob Pavsik. Fourth line out there for Santa Barbara. And it's draw one by the Polar Bears. Able to get the clear as Blount. Poliuso has it taken away. Denon. Blount shoves him, but he's able to get it into the zone. Damgard. Big hit delivered by Denon. Springs the puck for Nickel. Nickel back to the line. Shot off the shin pads of Damgard, and Damgard now a chance for a 2-on-1 with the late man Goldser. Damgard shoots. He scores! Beats Pavsik low blocker, and the Gauchos restore the 3-goal edge on Jesper Damgard's first goal of the season.
And just like you would expect from a Swedish-born player, this is a great defensive play from a forward to recognize that the point shot was coming from the last man back. So Damgard goes out, makes the John Tortorella proud play, blocks the shot, and gets it past the defenseman, and then just uses that electrifying speed to go in, and he just wrists the shot perfectly about 13 inches off the ice, right over the pad of the goaltender, and the Gauchos have a 3-goal lead back.
5-2, 9:15 to go in the second period. Gauchos looking for more in the attack end off the draw, holding in Slisenko. Slisenko allows Vieira to get it thrown in front. Mooney just couldn't put it on frame. Puck cleared out by Santa Rosa. Believe that the assist on that play was given to Justin Goldser. So that'll read Damgard from Goldser as Kyle Mooney carries into the zone. Mooney by his man for the trailer. Kevin shoots. Save made by Pavsik. Man, oh man. He has made a couple of tremendous stops against the Mooney brothers in this 2-game set.
And perhaps the Mooney brothers guilty a little bit too much there of being a little too fancy, going for that last pass and the tap-in goal, when a good backhand shot right there probably would have beaten Pavsik, who had to worry about both the shooter and the passer at that point. Both Gauchos were behind the Santa Rosa defense, but nonetheless a spectacular save to really keep his team in it at this point.
Top line out there for UCSB. Coach Hires and crew sensing the opportunity. Santa Rosa, though, able to get the clear. Takes an odd bounce as Slisenko, the only one back, 2-on-1, but blocks the shot attempt by Brownlee and then pastes him along the end boards, enabling Barone to come up with the loose puck. Slisenko stretches forward for Spears. Spears, 2 men come to him immediately along the near side boards. Spears still shielding the man away with the puck. Throws it to the slot off the skate of Lawrence. It rolls in on Pavsik, and he freezes it. Boy, when Cooper Spears played in the Rocky Mountain Junior Hockey League, 19 goals and 16 assists in 37 games played. You can tell that Blake Johnson has told his troops, I want 2 sets of eyes on number 22 for the Gauchos this game.
And deservedly so. He's been good every time he gets on the ice. You can definitely see that the Polar Bears really are ramping up the physical pressure on him as a result of pretty much what happened last game, but nonetheless, still a very tall task defending the young Gaucho rookie in Cooper Spears.
Polar Bears wiped themselves out, carrying the puck into the offensive zone. The battle along the far side boards in the corner, ultimately won by the Gauchos, and Valois, clearing attempt, hits the stanchion, but the Gauchos now with a chance to break. Barone just couldn't handle the pass. Ridnour, blind drop pass, intercepted, but now the Polar Bears a chance to break away. Odd man, but losing his feet. Denon, the pass for Ridnour on the left wing, deflects as the sticks clatter And the puck goes off the sheet into the Polar Bear bench.
And it sure seems like maybe the skate sharpening machine was broken before this game, because players spilling all over the ice this period, and a lot of them just kind of going down, not necessarily because they were forced to, but because they're going in to take that hard turn, and the ice is just giving out underneath them.
7:31 to go here, second period, 3-goal UCSB lead. Gauchos win the draw. Slisenko drifting back into his own end, uses the far side boards to feed it forward. Cosio, who will give up for Van Duzer. Cosio, the puck swept away, but Hyman intercepts between the circles, gives to the top of the near circle. Blount, shot off the shin pad, second chance, save made, rebound. Sent to the far boards by Ridnour. He'll retrieve and curl away from the Gaucho pressure, finding Max Brownlee at the red line. Carries into the zone. Brownlee drop pass top of the near circle, intercepted by Hyman, bounces it back out to neutral ice. Shot in by Santa Rosa off the legs of the defender. Blount with it behind the net. His pass intercepted by Kadicic. He airmails it, shot wide from the far faceoff dot, was trying to pick the glove side. Santa Rosa dumps and will go for a change as Blount pass handled by Hyman. Throws it into the feet of Van Duzer. Puck sitting in center ice, and Van Duzer ultimately comes up with it, but has it stick checked away. Brownlee will sweep it forward. Icing waved off as Slisenko uses the glass and gets it out to center on the tape of Pauliuso. Pressure on him from behind from Osborne, but he carries in the right wing. His shot is blocked, but gets it back bottom of the far circle. Pauliuso curls away from pressure, gets it back. Goldser reverses it to the far point. Piagai steps up to get it. Dumps it back to the end boards. Pauliuso takes a hit, but keeps possession in the corner for a moment. Now Santa Rosa will try and reverse up the near side wall. Vieira there to hold in. Goldser and him tangle with two Navy uniforms. Now everybody there with the exception of a defender for each side. Puck played to the front of the net. One hand on the stick chance. Save made by Pavsik on Goldser. That's to the top of the far point. Piagai loads, fires his shot. Stung the defender Pabros and dribbles in on Pavsik, and he holds.
And I think we're going to get a supplemental penalty for that slash to the back of the leg of Pauliuso there. So I think the Gauchos are going to get out of this actually with a power play. I'm not sure who's going. It looks like it's going to be... That's
Jackson
number 19,
Waldron.
Jackson Waldron.
Good eye on the slash, Kyle. I did not catch that.
And I'm glad the referee caught it as well, because it looked like it probably hurt. There's no padding actually on the back of the shin pads that these players use. So the front of the legs is pretty well protected, which was what allows these guys to get in front of slap shots that are at this stage going probably upwards of 80 or 90 miles per hour. But the back of the legs, they're pretty wide open and sensitive. So nice little hack to the back of the legs there is probably going to sting for Mitchell Pauliuso.
Well, for a moment, you had Pauliuso sitting in the penalty box as well, but the officials had to say, no, dude, you're okay.
I don't know. He could have said something for all we know. So
now head coach Blake Johnson wants an explanation here, calling the officials over.
Probably wants to know why Pauliuso was released from the penalty box. Doesn't look very happy about it, however.
Animated in pleading his case to the officials from the Preston Marine Hotchkiss players bench, the visitor bench here at the Snyder Rink at Ice in Paradise. Of course, the Katz family, the sponsors of the home bench. So here is the fourth power play opportunity of the game for the Gauchos. They're 1 for 3 and win the draw. Vieira with it, skates along the blue line, gives it top of the far circle, then gets it back. Kyle Mooney for Valois. Valois shot through traffic off of Nickel to the far corner. Spears picks it up. Plenty of space for him as he feeds for Mooney along the near side wall. Kyle back for Spears. Spears hesitates, shoots, doesn't get through to Pavsik. Slow clear attempt held by Valois. Gets it back from Kevin. Valois switches for Kyle. Back for Valois, top of the far circle. Backdoor feed goes for Kyle. Plenty of time. He shoots over top the crossbar. Was trying to pick it glove side, and the Polar Bears get the clear with 1:10 to go in the Gaucho power play. 4:30 to go in the second period. UCSB a 5-2 lead. Valois whiffs on a pass, leaves it for Kyle Mooney, but he's in ahead of the puck. Now a steal on the forecheck. Kyle on the return feed, can't find the empty cage. Battle for the puck along the near side wall, picked up by Kevin. Feeds to the far face-off dot. Centering feed, Spears stubs it high and wide, but Kevin picks it back up, leaving for Kyle. Far circle Vieira tries a pass across the slot that Josiah Nickel picks off and will skate out to neutral ice himself. Tries to split the Gaucho defense. Tied up on the play by Valois and Vieira. And a whistle. And that power play opportunity with 20 seconds remaining. The last 20 of them will be spent, I believe.
I believe it's a 5-on-3. We got another retaliatory slash coming. This one going to Josiah Nickel. So his second minor penalty of the game is going to give the Gauchos probably their best chance to take what would be a very demoralizing lead.
And Nickel has just been tossed. It looks like the official is looking to call him for unsportsmanlike conduct as well, but
so I don't know if it's a 10 or if it's a game misconduct.
He gave him the heave-ho.
So that is the captain and the easily most important player for Santa Rosa, no longer playing for the rest of this game. So this is a huge moment for the Gauchos if they can capitalize on this one and take what would be a 6-2 lead to the end of the period. They'd have to be looking like they're in pretty good shape, because you can very clearly see Santa Rosa has been rattled taking those two retaliatory penalties there.
Gauchos win the draw, 20 seconds of 5-on-3. Piagai, top of the near circle. Holds and then gives for Slasenko. Back for Piagai. Looking for a shooting lane. Gives it bottom of the far circle. Shot by Goldser. Post held by Papsick. Pass backdoor. Goldser unable to come up with it. First penalty is over to Santa Rosa. Piagai for Goldser. Shoots. Scores! Power play goal for the captain. And the Gaucho lead is 4.
And the third time is the charm on that shift for Justin Goldser. The first shot, a great save from Papsick to get across and seal off that post and keep it out. The second time, whiffs on the shot with the wide open cage. The third time, he makes no mistake, slipping it short side on a great pass. The Gaucho power play playing with a lot of patience on that one, and it looks like we got a timeout coming here by Santa Rosa, trying to right the ship and get some of that momentum back by the end of the period. But right now, a 6-2 lead for UC Santa Barbara, and they are looking very strong towards the end of this period after looking maybe not quite so strong at the beginning.
A second power play goal for UCSB. And Kyle, that was one of the things we talked about in pregame. We wanted to see how the Gauchos would tweak things after going 0 for 5 in the opening game Friday night. Man, this power play unit, it could be a combination of changed tactics as well as fatigue in the opponent, but it has looked very impressive in holding the zone in this game today.
They've definitely been a lot more patient in this game in being willing to move the puck around the perimeter of the rink while waiting for something to open from the Santa Rosa penalty kill, whereas maybe the last game, trying a little bit too hard to drive the puck into those sensitive areas, the very dangerous areas of the ice, without really having an opening there, and as a result giving pucks away to the Polar Bears. So a good look from the Gaucho power play here this evening, playing with some patience, maybe a little bit too much at times, foregoing what would be good passes or good shots in areas for trying to wait for something else to open, but it's hard to argue with having a few power play goals.
Justin Goldser gets his second goal of the season. Piagai with the helper. It's 6-2 with 3:10 go here in the second period. And the fourth line out there once again for head coach Scott Hires. Damgard sends the puck back to the point. Slisenko will give back for Poliuso along the end boards. Kashishian uses the high glass, able to get the clear. This one will go not far. Oh, it does go far enough for icing. That was like a curling shot there. Had just enough to get over the red line, and Piagai deliberate with his strides to draw the ice.
And Blake Johnson none too happy about the officials letting Piagai milk that one to get the icing call on the faceoff down by the Santa Rosa goaltender Jacob Pavsik. Normally in the NHL, I'm willing to bet that one probably would have been waved off based on Piagai's rather deliverance to get over and touch that puck.
Second line out there for the Gauchos. Michael Herlihy with the puck in the right corner. Ridnour engages with him there, knocks the puck free, but Kyle picks it up along the far boards for Blount. Blount, slow wrister, the pass ahead off the heel of the stick of Max Brownlee and into the near corner. Brownlee wins the puck battle. Brownlee sends it to the slot. Swept away by Herlihy. It's in a lot of skates. Thrown in front. Tipped, score. Matt Kadasic. And it's a 6-3 game with 2:22 to go in the second period. UCSB didn't look comfortable that entire stretch with the puck perilously out in front of Nora Penn, unable to get the clear. And who else but the second leading goal scorer for the Polar Bears last season to deposit the puck in the back of the net.
And the defense guilty of leaving the front of Nora Penn's crease alone a little bit too easily on that last play. Kadasic able to get what was a slow rolling puck, kick it up to his skates, and just get it around. And oh, there we go, it went right back.
UCSB off the face-off. Back and forth, up and down we go. And I believe that's Herlihy.
I believe that was actually Mooney.
Mooney?
That was, I believe, Kevin Mooney on that one.
So Kevin Mooney with his second goal
Kyle
of the
Mooney,
game.
correction. That was Kyle Mooney. That was 33.
Looked down for a second to write down the scoring play, and
both the Mooney brothers are so good with that puck, it's hard to tell them apart when they're playing.
so the 233s score within a span of 5 seconds, and it's 7-3. And looking for more. Kevin in, backhander, scores!
How about that for a highlight reel goal?
Roofs it to the glove hand of Jacob Pavsik, and just when it looked like the Polar Bears would have an opportunity to build on something, UCSB comes back with a pair of goals in a matter of seconds.
And this is unfortunate for Santa Rosa because this would ideally be a time where you would probably want to change your goaltender to try to maybe influence the momentum, but their backup, Matthew Colgrove, actually did not finish the game against Long Beach State last night, leaving with an injury about halfway through the third period. So Pavsik is going to have to go the distance here, and the Gauchos are just cranking up the pressure, letting everything go, and he does not look confident right now.
8-3 with under 2 to go in the second period. Puck in the Gaucho defensive end. Sean Pabros tries to hold it in on the far side board, succeeds as Larry Hansen engaged with a pair of white shirts. UCSB wins it back to Vieira, who will backhand it to the corner from behind his own net, where it's picked up by Dominic Calcio. Calcio switches it to the near side boards, played forward by Ridnour. Vieira for Piagai, back for Vieira. Vieira tries a stretch feed. That's too far for Hunter Van Duzer. Icing wave, though. Pabros behind the net. Plays along the near side wall. Held in by Vieira. Backhander to the far corner. Reversed. And Larry Hansen tried to get it out. Big hit delivered there by Hyman. Denon lost the puck behind him. Van Duzer whiffed on the attempted pass. So Hansen will skate it behind his own net to the far corner and then drop it back for Pabros. UCSB, an aggressive forecheck here, forces the turnover on the pass off the wall. Skating in Vieira, dangling through a couple players. It comes back for Spears. His shot goes up and off the glass into the meshing with 38.1 to go in the second period. 5-goal Gaucho lead.
And the 5-goal Gaucho lead is a time where this could be another coachable moment for Scott Hires. And I'm willing to guess he's going to be very happy with what he's seen so far, and that the Gauchos do not appear to be backing off from Santa Rosa. They learned from what happened last game when they went into the third period and got a 4-goal lead almost immediately off the bat. This time now a 5-goal lead, but when they went to sleep, Santa Rosa made things interesting and got several goals, including some power play goals, very quickly to make it an interesting game.
Boy, a race for the puck there. Slisenko and Blount doing their best to try and keep Max Kadasic from getting the puck bowled in to Penn. And man, Blake Johnson's face right now, head coach for Santa Rosa.
It's about the shade of his tie.
It's exactly what I was going to say, Kyle.
But nice bright pink shade of his tie.
Not sure what call he's asking for there.
I'm not particularly either. Maybe a tripping call, but it looked to me like that was just some incidental contact as they went racing in and just a collision with goaltender Nora Penn. But I don't see anything other than just some shoulder-to-shoulder incidental contact from that play.
The defender has the right to the lane as well.
Exactly. That's why it's a battle. It's a shoulder-to-shoulder.
Face off to the right of Penn. One in on her. She sticks it behind the net. Attempted bank play by Kashishian. Penn sealed off the post. Now Lawrence will play it up the wall. Spears chipped forward, got away from Buchter for a moment. Now tries to get underneath him. Good job by Buchter to play it up the wall. Lawrence sends it behind the net. 10 seconds to go, second period. Brownlee looking for the feed, but Runge will curl back with it. To the point. Shot dribbles in front. Lawrence, shot, pad save, Pavsic. And that brings the end of action in the second period. Lawrence slams his stick in disappointment after the end of the second 20-minute session. But Kyle, when it looked like Santa Rosa Junior College was getting ready to get back in this game, the Gauchos, the Moonies, 2 goals in 13 seconds, 3 goals put on the board between the two teams in a stretch of 18 seconds, and it's 8-3 at the second intermission.
And that was a great response to what would have been a crucial goal from Santa Rosa, what looking like they were about to start the comeback again, and the perfect response just 5 seconds later from Kyle Mooney to bring the game back out and expand that lead again. Just a great effort from the Gauchos in that period. Once again, Scott Hires at the intermission is going to once again be absolutely adamant that this team really keep to the defense in front of Nora Penn this upcoming period. They want to stay focused, keep their foot on the gas, and make sure that they play this one out to the best of their ability. They cannot afford to fall asleep on the Polar Bears like they did last time around. Remember, no lead is safe in ACHA hockey.
As we saw on Friday night, UCSB had leads of 4-0, 5-1, and 6-2, and Santa Rosa came roaring back with a stretch of 4 straight goals in the third period, for ultimately requiring the heroics from Cooper Spears.
I will say this, though, about this game. The Gauchos' discipline has been night and day better in this one. I wouldn't say there have been any what you would call dumb penalties, penalties from lack of discipline, letting your emotions get the better of you. That's all been the other side of the ice this game. Santa Rosa taking those 2 nasty slashing penalties for retaliation, and good on the Gauchos not to respond themselves as well. Mitchell Poliuso taking at least one of them. I don't know, I think maybe Goldser took the other one, but several big slashes, just retaliatory plays, and the Gauchos have capitalized on those opportunities, and that's what's opened up this lead here and led to just supreme frustration for the Polar Bears in this one.
UCSB on the power play, 2 goals with the man advantage in the game this evening. You're taking now a look at the scoring summary from the second period, brought to you by UCSBHockey.com. UCSBHockey.com is your home for the Gauchos on ice. Well, it was a quick start to the third period for Santa Rosa. Just 30 seconds in, defenseman Colin Ridnour with a blast from the point. The carryover power play after the high sticking penalty on Tyler Barone cashed in. Assist goes to John Kashishian on a slap shot from the point that changed directions.
And again, oftentimes I don't want to say oftentimes, but several of these goals in this game have come off those high tip deflection plays. When you're a point man, if you get an open shooting lane and there's traffic in front of that net, coaches will tell you all the time, let it go, because you have no idea necessarily what's going to happen. You see a lot of these pinball goals that just find their way either through legs, off sticks, whatever it is. All it takes is one slight deflection and change in direction on that puck, and the goaltender is not going to be able to prepare for it in time. They're not going to be able to react, and they're not going to be able to hang on and make that save unless their positioning is just spectacular. And even then, you'd call that more of luck than skill at that point. But this one finds its way through for the Gauchos.
That goal made it a 1-goal game. UCSB, however, was able to take advantage of some momentum gained from a power play. It didn't score after a charging penalty on Tommy Denon, a real ugly-looking hit along the far side boards. But after the conclusion of the power play, James Blount with a shot from the top of the far circle may have changed directions in front. Assist goes to Kevin Mooney on it, and the Gauchos could breathe a little bit easier with the 2-goal advantage on Blount's first goal of the season.
Absolutely, and again, the same type of thing. You got a point man who just lets a shot go from the point, finds a fortuitous bounce. We don't know if it hit another Gaucho, if it hit maybe a stick or maybe a skate of a polar bear. Doesn't matter because it changed direction enough to the point where it fooled Jacob Pavsik on the way in and wound up getting behind him, and the Gauchos got a big goal to essentially reset their team momentum to bring the game back into terms that they were dictating after what was a pretty slow start and a pretty poor penalty kill to start the period.
Perhaps the biggest goal for UCSB in a goal that saw them put 5 past Pavsik was the goal just past the midway mark, scored by Jesper Damgaard. His first goal for UCSB at the 10:38 mark. Assist went to Justin Goldser on the play. But Kyle, as you said in your initial analysis, a very Swedish play. Strong defensive play by Damgaard to spring the puck free, and then just a perfectly placed shot, wristing it low blocker side past Pavsik from the face-off dot on the near side of the rink.
13 inches off the ice. That is exactly where coaches tell you to shoot that puck. Just get it so that it's over the goaltender's pads, and he's going to have a very difficult save to get those arms down low quick enough to take away that little spot right over the pad, especially when it's right over the foot. It was a perfect shot from Damgaard to top off what was a great defensive play and some great speed to get down that left wing and get that shot away.
Perhaps once this game is concluded, we'll look at the penalty taken by Captain Josiah Nickel for Santa Rosa Junior College at the 16-17 mark as the point where this game just got out of control for the Polar Bears. Slashing penalty, and then in going into the penalty box, not only jawing with the official, but slamming the penalty box door, throwing his stick, the officials giving him the disqualification. He is not able to return for the remainder of the game, and on the ensuing power play, Justin Goldser puts home his second of the season, assisted by Dimitri Piagai, and UCSB had a much more comfortable lead at that point at 6-2.
Absolutely, and this is one of the things that as a coach you just really, really dislike seeing, especially from your team captain in Josiah Nickel. You rely on your captain as a source of emotional strength. When you see him getting frustrated, you want to see him respond by scoring goals and igniting the offense, not going into the penalty box, throwing the stick, breaking things, and then getting kicked out. And from that point forward, you really could notice as well, the entire attitude of the Santa Rosa Polar Bears has changed. They've been going out of their way to really emphasize the physical play. They're trying really hard to lay the hit in on the Gaucho defense when they're going for the forecheck. They're trying as hard as they can to get every bit of body contact in on the Mooney brothers and on Cooper Spears, the players that have victimized them all night long. It seems as though they're trying more so to lay a physical revenge than they are going back and trying to get back into the game on the score sheet.
And that's the thing that Coach Scott Hires said in our pregame show. The penalties hurt you most on the scoreboard, and UCSB has made them hurt for Santa Rosa Junior College in the game thus far. Then, as mentioned, heading into the second intermission here, you had this stretch of 18 seconds where the teams combined for 3 goals. First, it was Matt Katasic in front of Nora Penn, able to sweep in a bouncing puck that really the Gaucho defense never looked all that comfortable with. But immediately thereafter, the Mooney brothers got it going. First, Kyle Mooney scoring his first of the season, assisted by Michael Herlihy, and then Kevin Mooney scored his second goal of the game at the 17:56 mark. And Kyle, that sets us where we're at right now, 8-3 in favor of UCSB. And as you mentioned, how crazy the ACHA is. 3 goals in 18 seconds, 5 goals. You feel good, but you don't feel too good.
You don't get comfortable, that's for sure. You never know when all it could take is just one or two bounces going back the other way, and it could suddenly be a couple goals that go into the net, and suddenly you're thinking, well, what's happening here? Especially if your team starts falling asleep a little bit, you're going to want to make sure, especially you want to keep the Polar Bears out from in front of goaltender Nora Penn to make her job as easy as possible going forward in order to make sure that the Gauchos can really salt this one away early. Coach Hires is going to be in that locker room emphasizing defensive coverage. He's going to be emphasizing sticking to your man, playing your game, and playing solid. He's going to want to say, I don't care necessarily what happens with the scoreboard from this point forward, but I want to see nothing happening in terms of the the guest number on that scoreboard. He's going to want to keep everything out for this period and play a perfect defensive game, team game, and really practice keeping out the speed of the likes of John Kashishian and Max Kadicic and Max Brownlee and Matt Kadicic going forward.
Second period scoring summary brought to you by UCSBHockey.com. UCSBHockey.com is your home for ice hockey at UCSB. Get the latest schedule information, stats, as well as game stories and other news at UCSBHockey.com. And remember, whenever we're broadcasting live, if you go to UCSBHockey.com, there's a special page right there. It'll take you right to the broadcast, so you can watch live on YouTube, streaming video for all home games here at the Snyder Rink at Ice in Paradise, or when we're on the road, as we will be next weekend up in Oakland when the Gauchos take on the California Golden Bears. You can listen at mixlr.com/icehockeyUCSB. Okay, I was talking before the game with defenseman Eric Evelhoch. Evelhoch in his first year with the Gauchos. He's a grad student from Ventura. Molecular biology engineering. This is a man who took neurosurgery classes as an undergrad in his fourth year of graduate school at UCSB. And
he sounds a lot smarter than I am.
And with that in mind, he's saying the most important thing for the team was to not wear that path to the penalty box. Being comfortable with being able to skate away from conflagrations when they show up. See, I'm talking about a molecular engineer. I have to break out the 10-cent words. But
I don't even know what that means. You're getting over my head here.
By and large,
me with my bachelor's degree.
The Gauchos have been able to do that. Perhaps most impressive about Evelhoch, the game Friday night was his first major competitive game in 7 years. Now, he's played house league between now and then, but for a player who had that long of a layoff between games when he originally suited up in the ACHA as an undergrad for the University of California, Davis, you wouldn't have known from his first game of the season, and you certainly wouldn't know from what we've seen from him tonight.
And he's played an absolutely spectacular game here this evening as well. It's just a very solid defenseman who may not necessarily show up on the score sheet, but you know that he's going to be making all of the right plays. And it's not your typical stay-at-home, gritty, hard-hitting defenseman that you would think of in a lot of the older style hockey that a lot of the coaches like John Tortorella and Randy Carlisle seem to have an affection for. He is very much also the smooth skating, puck-moving style defenseman who's going to make the good decisions when he has the puck on his stick. He's going to be the one that makes the smart play in terms of the pass that leaves the zone, and he's also got the ability and the speed when skating any direction that he can get to where he needs to go. And if he winds up either needing to bail out a teammate or finds himself out of position, he can work his way back in there quickly with those good wheels he's got.
Talking with him, said his folks watched the game on Friday night. They enjoyed having the opportunity to see live streaming video of ice hockey at UCSB, and we want to remind you, if you want to be alerted whenever we go live on YouTube or whenever we put up new video content, be sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's the best way to be able to keep tabs on ice hockey at UCSB and all the multimedia video coverage this season has been made possible thanks to the support of donors. And if you want to donate or make a gift to the student organization Ice Hockey at UCSB, you can do so by contacting team advisor Susan Goodale at susan.goodale@ucsb.edu or call her in the office 893-3530, 893-3530. Okay, Kyle. As UCSB gets ready to hit the ice once again, give me capsule form what each team needs to do in this game. Santa Rosa, obviously, it's going to be that much more difficult considering they don't have the man who put up 5 points in Friday night in Josiah at their disposal for the remainder of the
even want to have a thought. They have to get their heads level again, and when they do that, they can start playing hockey that is effective. They do have the speed, and they do have the ability to get into a Gaucho defense that, admittedly, they haven't thoroughly tested here this evening, but on the times where they did, not necessarily the best in terms of coverage, especially on that last goal in front of Nora Penn. No one seemed to be really anywhere around over there, so the Gauchos, tighten up that defense, make sure to see this one out, keep your foot on the gas, make sure no mistakes, and just play as well as you possibly can, and they should have no problem seeing this one all the way through.
Before we drop the puck here in the third period, I think it's important to note what UCSB has done defensively in the game, Kyle. Yes, there are the lapses, but the Gauchos have by and large had the puck on their sticks and haven't had Nora Penn stopping pucks in her.
Yeah, and the Gauchos have done really with that defensive play, keeping everything away from Penn to their ability. She hasn't in the way of different. She's made for that one good one there in the first period, keeping that one out, but the team in front of her has played well. They've kept pucks away from her to the best of their ability. Now it's going to be up to them to make sure that they continue to do that here in the third period, because they're going to be going up against the Santa Rosa team that's going into the last period of this long road trip. They've been looking to get something after getting blown out last night, and it's looking like this one's starting to go much the same. Want to save some face here, so they're going to be coming on strong.
Centering Brownlee and Matt Caddison at UCSB as the Gauchos skate left to right here in the second period. Shot by Goltzer, save made by Pavsik. He dropped the rebound, but fell down to cover it and lost his stick in the process. 11 seconds gone in the third.
And that was Jesper Damgaard going in hot right to that dropped rebound, going right to the far post. Just barely got there in time, Jacob Pavsik did. His helmet also came off at the same time, but he made the save, and that's the important part.
Face-off coming up to his right. Poliuso against Kashishian. Kashishian has been a consistent success in the face-off. Does here, but the Gauchos control. Goltzer tries to play to the puck to Damgaard, and the face-off dot was knocked over. Here's it.
Heads up in the hallway.
Out of play. Redirection. And gives a Gaucho fan along the runway
back in, but unfortunately he did not get that thing going flat, so immediately right up over the glass and
his pass saucered over the blade of Goltzer, but just in the near corner. Forces the puck play to the Poliuso with it. Pauly curling at the hashes along the far side boards, ridden off by Ridnour for to carry. Pabros, 3-on-2 are the Polar Bears. Pabros up defensively by Blount to knock that one away. Held by Runge. Sent to the taken skate to and he'll carry two forwards. So, who sent high slot for Blount. The near side boards. Spears stands him up. Gets from the corner, sent in backdoor feed. Spears shot, glove save by Pavsik. Hold for a face-off.
I like how Pavsik the flare in there. Like I've really under control, the team will get behind that one as well. That's something that can help turn the attitude around in this one.
Looked like he had a extra second or two of a glance at number 22 for the Gauchos as well after making the grab. UCSB, though, controlling in the attack end. Lawrence for Spears, back for Jag, behind the net, goes between his legs to the near side boards. Zerby switches it looking for Osborne. Puck sent back behind the net. Buchter taken away by Lawrence. Thrown in front. Jam shot. Save made on Spears. Barone for Lawrence. Shot. Save made. Papsick. Played off the far boards to the line where it's held in by Vieira. He backhands it into the corner. Swept around the net by Jackson Waldron. Spears for Piagai. Whiffs on a kick trying to hold in at the far point, but Spears has it at the red line. He'll come in up the right wing. Lost the puck there. And Zerbe's able to clear it ahead for Max Brownlee. Brownlee carries in. Brownlee by his man. Brownlee hauled down from behind by Piagai. He goes hard into the end boards. A whistle and a tripping penalty coming to last year's team-leading penalty man, Dimitri Piagai. He'll take a seat for the trip with 2:48 played here in period number 3.
Good to see Max Brownlee get up so quickly after that as well. He was flying in with speed when Piagai took him down, and he went hard into the end boards as well. But once again, speed being the factor there, and a very nice stick handling move to go backward and back between his skates. It did draw the penalty as it forced Piagai to put his stick in between and basically gave him the can opener to bring him down.
And remember, it was the power play that helped the Polar Bears get back into the game on Friday in the third period. Santa Rosa controlling. Kashishian sends it behind the net for Katasic. Blount on his back as he carries it along the far side wall. Top of the near circle. Shot well wide by Pabros. Ridnour gives back for Pabros. Top of the near circle. Pabros dips the shoulder. Drags behind the net, tries a blind feed to the slot, nobody home, and the puck is cleared. In on Papsick. Katasic. Off the skate of Ridnour, bounces out to neutral territory, and slapped back in by Blount. Brownlee up the left wing. Crosses the blue line into the attack zone. His shot over the blocker of Penn, high and wide. Hyman swings, can't clear. Held in by Katasic and Ridnour. Second chance jam. Ridnour throws it to the front, blocked by Valois. Plays it off the bench.
A few scared people on that Gaucho bench there. That one barely stayed in the barn.
Hit the face of the Dolphin on the Channel Islands advertisement in front of the Gaucho bench along the boards. Santa Rosa carries out of their own end. Head of steam for John Kashishian. He has a goal for the Polar Bears. Curls behind the net. Backhands it in front for Ridnour. Slapper off a defender. Lawrence, the bottom of the far circle, clears it to the line, but held in well by Buchter. He had 3 assists in the game on Friday. Slapped around to the near point where Ridnour holds in. 20 seconds to go in the power play. His shot scores.
Seeing eyes shot that Nora Penn did not get vision of until it was underneath her and traveling in. Not necessarily the best of goals to go in, but you never know when you put that puck towards the net. Nora never saw that one going through, so the Gauchos unfortunately unable to kill the penalty here early, and it's back to a 4-goal lead. By no means is this game over yet. That's going to bring some more of the momentum back, and we all remember the third period comeback that the Polar Bears put on last time around.
Santa Rosa wins the draw, but Ridnour loses it for Kevin Mooney. Mooney in, shoots, misses the glove side.
Maybe guilty of waiting a little too long on that one.
Slisenko shot from the far point, easily in and held by Pavsik. But UCSB does a nice job after the goal, immediately getting it into the attack end and getting the puck on Pavsik.
And those are the types of responses you like to see after giving up a goal like that, especially one that could be considered pretty deflating, not necessarily the best goal to give up. Kind of an innocuous looking play, but the Gauchos immediately responding by going right back into the offensive zone and generating some chances of their own.
Kyle plays it behind the net for Kevin. He'll give up for Herlihy. Herlihy, feed to the slot. Nobody there. Cleared away by Pabros. This one not far enough for icing. The official saw Kyle slow in his stride, so he waved it. Kyle backhands it out to center, but it's intercepted. Backhanded into the zone. Vieira hits the tape of Kevin Mooney, who will now tag to Kyle. Kyle up the right wing into the zone. Kyle throws to the slot. Shot, save made, Pavsik. Rebound, and he got the glove on it just long enough as Kevin Mooney was there sniffing around looking for a rebound. and looking for his third goal of the game tonight.
And the fortuitous early quick whistle. That puck was never actually covered, but just far enough away to the point where the official lost sight of it, so he blows the whistle as he is instructed to do. Big save from Pavsik there in order to stop that one. That was the first time, really, I think, since probably about the first period, the Gauchos have easily gotten down to the top of the goal crease.
14:30 to go. Second period is the slap shot by Hyman from the top of the far circle. Blockered away by Pavsik. Held in at the far point by Piagai for Hyman. Van Duzer spins it to the near corner. Activating Blount. His shot off the skate of Buchter. Hansen will get it far boards. Circles it back. Stinging it off the end boards for Denon. Denon plays it off the net, stolen by Van Duzer. Van Duzer back to the line. Piagai loads, fires. It hits Hyman in front, but bounces for Van Duzer. Far face-off circle for Blount. Top of the near, he'll get it along the end boards. Shot off the skate of a polar bear. Denon gathers it and will curl behind the net with it. Van Duzer forces the turnover. Steal. Van Duzer behind the net. Van Duzer back to the line for Blount. Blount. Shot deflects off of Hyman, goes wide to the left corner. Hansen, Piagai holds in at the far point. Sends into the corner. Osborne will send it around, and Blount does a nice job holding the line. His shot stopped with a skate by Buchter. He'll angle it off the boards, looking for Denon. This one will roll in along the end boards as Piagai. Hit by Kashishian. Blount moves it around to the far corner. Fed ahead for Dominic Calcio. He has a goal today for UCSB. Stood up by Buchter, and it's sent out to neutral ice. Fourth line coming out for UCSB is Hyman into the zone. His shot saved by Pavsik, and he holds, and Hyman took a rather significant thump from Buchter after letting the shot go, but Pavsik freezes with 13:02 to go in the third.
And the Gauchos responded well to giving up that goal. They've had quite a bit of offensive zone time, some sustained pressure, forcing a few turnovers as well, continuing to wear down that defense and eat away at the clock. Maybe not a goal yet here this period, but these are all good things that you want to see as a coach, winning some critical puck battles, especially along the boards in the offensive zone.
UCSB continues to buzz in the Santa Rosa end. Slisenko holds in at the near point. His shot through traffic. Save made. Rebound. Pauliuso shovels it in on Pavsik, and he makes this save on his stomach and holds.
And Pavsik has been progressively getting better as this period has gone on as well. He's already had to make 3 or 4 top quality saves against with Gaucho forwards bearing in on him. Absolutely crucial that he kept the rebound very close or to a minimum in order to negate any rebound chances as well, and he's done that.
Off the draw, Goldser snapper gobbled up by Pavsik, able to hold that one on the chest plate.
Once again, no rebound, this time with Mitch Pauliuso bearing right to the top of the goal crease. The defense a step behind him.
Pauliuso once again on the draw. Tries to push forward, gets it, the shot deflects off the stick of Runge to the far corner. Damgard sends back to the line, touch for Slisenko. Tries to send it to the corner. Puck fired ahead, gets through Slisenko. Race for the puck, John Zerbe does not beat back Eric Valois for the icing, so
and this is a smart
back in the Santa Rosa end.
This is once again a smart defensive play by Eric Valois, knowing that he may not win the foot race to the puck in that instance. So instead he goes to the man and shows that he is, at the moment at least, in front of him, and that gets the whistle, which appears as though they're going to call that one back, which should come to center ice. Instead, it's going to be down in the Gauchos' end.
So the officials, after conferring, realize, oh yeah, Zerbe was in fact.
So they go back and they do essentially make the correct call at that point.
Draw one by Hansen. Behind the net to the far corner, sends it. Denon loses his footing. Puck sent back through the slot. Diving attempt, can't come up with it. Lawrence has it chipped up in the air, but Spears now with it. 2 men go immediately to him. He lays past him. Spears to the high slot. Feed for Slisenko. Slisenko backhands the puck. Stopped up by Runge at the near side face-off dot. Sent to the line. Held in Slisenko. His shot. Save made. Rebound. Pavsik. It's stuffed into the glove by Spears, and Pavsik makes another save.
And the Gauchos guilty of maybe playing with a little bit of fire in the offensive zone there. Slisenko with 3 blue jerseys around him trying to take that away, and he's fortunately able to stick handle his way out of it. But if that puck had gotten away from Slisenko, it was a 3 or a 4-on-1 back the other direction. But on the other hand, he's able to get through it, and the Gauchos get another pretty good scoring chance out of that play.
Second line out for the Gauchos. And Kashishian, stop me if you've heard this before, wins another faceoff. But Mooney, Kyle, will control with it. Drops it at the far point for the defenseman, Blount. He'll skate up the far side boards, tries to roll it along the end plate. Behind the net, Kyle for Blount. Back for Kyle. Working on Osborne, who wedges him off the puck. Sends it around. Vieira holds. Chips it deeper. Brownlee had it sticked away by Kevin. Buchter there to help. Buchter and Mooney continue to jostle for it. Herlihy's there now as well. Kevin sends it back to the line. Vieira, shot, save made Pavsic. He steers the rebound to the far corner where Kyle retrieves. Hits the break, spins around, gets to the far face-off dot, and then Katasic able to sweep this one out into the UCSB defensive end. Blount back to retrieve with 10:50 to go here in period number 3. Kyle far wing with it in the attack end. Curls behind the net. Played back to the line for Vieira. Vieira off the boards for Kyle. Kyle, his pass was looking for Kevin. Buchter got a stick on it. Played it behind for Osborne. Osborne off the boards for Katasic. Katasic, his stretch pass, looking for Zerbe. Was too far. Vieira intercepted. Vieira along the boards. Kevin will come for the retrieval. Touched it forward. Puck knocked free by LaBroucherie. Loses his footing and loses the puck. Played forward for Kyle Mooney. Kyle carries in right wing. Dances through men. Shot save made by Jacob Pavsic. Good look for Hunter Van Duzer there. Piagai. The bouncing dump in on Pavsic. He stops and sets it up for his defenseman Ridnour. At the line, Cosio steps up and causes a turnover. To the slot. Mooney shoots and scores!
Great step-up play on that one from Dominic Cosio to recognize that he had the ability to get in and knock the puck away from the Santa Rosa player as they were starting to leave the zone. He doesn't necessarily get the whole contact on the puck, but he gets it enough to get it away from the player, and it lands right in the path of Kyle Mooney, who simply just doesn't miss from that range very often. He finds the top corner, and the Gauchos get that goal back that they gave up early. Took them a little longer to do it this time around, but back to the 5-goal lead, now up to 9-4.
Second goal of the game for Kyle Mooney. Dominic Cosio has a multi-point game as well. Gauchos in the zone looking for more. Big hit delivered on Hyman, and a penalty coming up on Santa Rosa here because of it. Piagai plays to the near corner, touched up by Ridnour, and we're going to have a charging penalty assessed to Santa Rosa with 9:21 to go in the third period. Opportunity for the Gauchos mayhaps to add more, as I think that's Sean Pabros who will sit down.
Sean Pabros for a charging penalty against Dominic Cosio. He had Cosio lined up in center ice and just came through him. Sean Pabros is a big boy as well, listed as 6'4". Cosio only at 5'7", so pretty dangerous play to begin with as well, but the elbow also came up as well as the strides coming in, so you could kind of take your pick with that one. Either elbowing or charging, either one, it was going to get called.
Gauchos win the draw, but Ridnour comes up with a steal and a chance for an odd man shorthand break, maybe. Ridnour curls back with it, and his shot from the point goes wide of the right pad of Nora Penn. Pressure from Brownlee. He'll curl it to the corner. Piagai sweeps for his defensive partner and gets it back. Piagai for Vieira. Vieira outlet for Cosio. Cosio touches forward for Van Duzer. Van Duzer in stride into the zone. Curls bottom of the near circle. Plays it off the side wall. Cosio back for Van Duzer. Van Duzer senses Kashishian coming for him. Leaves it back. Brownlee gets and clears the length of the sheet. Blount for Slisenko as the lines will switch up with a minute to go in the power play here for UCSB. On the carry-in, Poliuso tried to walk around the defender, Buchter, who stuck his hip out. Puck rolled in on Pavsic to freeze.
And it's a defensive play that will make a long-time great for both the Los Angeles and San Jose fans. Very proud, very reminiscent of a Rob Blake open ice hip check to take down Poliuso on that one and stop the power play from entering right through the middle of the ice.
Fourth line getting some power play time here as Damgard and Goltzer's out there. A whistle and a stoppage in play as an extra puck has come on the sheet. .53 seconds to go in the Gaucho power play. They've scored a pair with the extra man in the game. Off the draw, cleared out by Travis LaBroucherie, the forward from Santa Rosa. Goltzer into the zone. Curls up along the near side boards. Damgard leaves for Poliuso. Poliuso to the corner, drops back. Damgard. Damgard to the point for Blounce. Blounce. Lots of traffic in front, gives for Damgard. Damgard shoots, sends it just wide. Puck held in far side wall by Slisenko, does well to do so. Pass across. Damgard stubs the one-timer attempt. Sent along the boards. Nice hold in there by Blount at the near point. 10 seconds to go in the power play for Slisenko. Goltzer for Blount. Right point, shot through traffic. Save made on Poliuso's chance in front. It goes behind the net. Power play is over. Slisenko. Poliuso, after Goltzer leaped to knock it down, has it behind the net. Justin comes back to pick it up. One defenseman has changed. Slisenko shot, tipped. Damgard and Pavsic does well to seal up the 5-hole.
And it's another great shift from the fourth line of the Gauchos of Jesper Damgard, Justin Goltzer, and Mitch Poliuso. The three of them seem to be working very well here this weekend. That's going to be a line to watch all season long, pretty much controlling the puck in the Santa Rosa end for about the last minute of play here.
Spears, Barone, Lawrence out there for UCSB.
And Santa Rosa is short a man, it appears, so officials good, letting Santa Rosa know, hey, you guys should be getting another one out here.
Jackson Waldron, the last man over the boards, and he wins the draw promptly. Puck sent in front, dangerous play, cleared to the line by Denon. Slap shot wide by Piagai. Puck played to the near sideboards. Attempted clear, knocked down on the second try. Hansen's able to bang it out off the boards with 6:40 to go here in the third period. Gauchos by 5. Valois for Spears. Puck comes into the slot. The shot bouncing, kicked away by Penn. Jackson Waldron didn't get a lot on that, but follow the knuckle puck. Penn did well to stop it. A couple heavy hits delivered along the near side boards, and Cooper Spears is going to be called for interference here all day, every day, Kyle. You can't hit the man off the puck.
And especially when it gives your team an advantage like that, and that pretty much basically turned the possession over to the Gauchos, that's going to be a black and white call for the officials to make on that one. So Spears adds himself to the score sheet yet again here this weekend, just this time not in the goal column. He sits down for 2 minutes.
So the Gaucho penalty kill with another opportunity against a Santa Rosa power play that succeeded at a better than 50% clip against them in their 2 games. Draw one defensively by Barone to the line, and it goes all the way in on Pavsic. Jag Lawrence in on the forecheck. Giving Ridnour something to think about. Buchter for Ridnour. Young man from Colorado Springs will carry over the red line, now crossing the blue. Bottom of the far circle, Brownlee, a whistle.
And it's played with a high stick, so I believe this should be a face-off coming, I believe, outside, unless it was a Gaucho that played it with a high stick. And I think that's the ruling, is it's going to be off a Gaucho high stick, so this will stay down next to Nora Penn.
Kashishian set to take the draw.
And boy, has he been good there tonight.
Brownlee and Katasic are his wingers. Puck one back to Ridnour, right point. Slap shot, didn't get all of it. Lawrence able to chip it out to center, and a chance for an odd man break. Jag in up the far wing. Lawrence hesitates, bounces it off the end boards for Barone.
Just lost control of the puck at the last second, Lawrence.
Bent to the far corner for Katasic. Katasic slowly rolls it up the far wall. Barone will pass back for Piagai. Switches rink for Blount. Blount, stick check, stolen. Kashishian for Brownlee. His shot. Penn got a piece of it, fighting it off with the trapper. Kashishian tries to play to the high slot. It's intercepted by Piagai, and he lobs it forward. 45 seconds to go in the Santa Rosa power play. Ridnour ahead for Brownlee. Carries in up the left wing. Stops top of the far circle, now to the dot. Shot, pad, save, Penn. Thrown back in front. Penn makes another save, and she freezes it.
And it's a good look from Nora, who has not been busy this period. Just the one goal going against her. Really on what was possibly the only shot on goal before that last little rush right there. She has not been busy this whole game, but able to stay focused, able to get back into it, and able to make two pretty good saves right off the bat right there.
Face-off forthcoming to her right. Second power play unit out there now for Santa Rosa. Jackson Waldron on the draw. For those who may be joining us late, Josiah Nickel, captain and all-time leading scorer for Santa Rosa, ejected in the second period, following an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Hansen picks up his pass that went off the skate. The player in up the right wing, curls in the corner. Backhand in front. Don't think it got in on Penn. Bounces to the left corner. Hit delivered by Vieira. Behind the net, Slisenko will skate out with it. Gauchos back to full strength as Kyle Mooney carries in. Mooney for Kevin. Shoots. He scores! And it's a hat trick goal for Kevin Mooney. And a 10-4 lead for the Gauchos with 4:09 remaining in the third.
And what an incredible luxury it is for Scott Hires to be able to toss both Kevin and Kyle Mooney, both the Mooney brothers, over to the boards to kill a penalty. And they do that for the last half of that penalty kill. And sure enough, when the man leaves the penalty box, it suddenly turns into a 3-on-2. And boy, Kevin Mooney does not miss from the low end of the circle very often. Tons of power, laser accuracy. He puts it short side right over the glove of Anthony Pavsic.
Off the draw, chance for another. Mooney backhand save made by Pavsic. Goes behind
what
the
a
net.
Stop.
Back to the line for Piagai. Piagai for Kevin. He's shot, blocked, sent in front. Puck cleared the length of the sheet by Kashishian, and this will go for an icing.
How many chances have the Mooney brothers had combined that have not gone in between these last two games? Pavsic has been a thorn in their side, aside from the fact that the Gauchos had 7 by him last game and now 10 by him here tonight. Boy, he has done an excellent job of getting in under the skin of the Mooney brothers and just robbing them blind on a few instances.
For every goal that he's given up, he's made at least one, maybe two spectacular saves.
He's been good. He's been very good this weekend.
Battle in front, and it rolls in off the boot of Van Duzer on Pavsic, who holds.
And when it seems as though the team in front of him is really down, Pavsic has been coming up with good saves in both of these games to really get them back in it. And you can see how much Santa Rosa feeds off the momentum he gives them by making these big saves and coming up huge, keeping the team in front of him alive.
Another face-off win by Waldron, but the Gauchos control off of it. Hyman from his knees, far boards. Waldron knocked it free, but a steal by Van Duzer. Van Duzer's shot blocked by Waldron. Gets it back and plays to the line. Valois for Hyman. Tip play, score! Cosio!
And just like how the Gauchos were not very comfortable in front of their own goaltender at one point during the last period, this time around the shoe is on the other foot, and Santa Rosa looks very uncomfortable defensively in front of their own goaltender, and Cosio is all alone in front of the net, good heads-up pass in order to get it over to him, and it's a tip play to get him his second goal of the night.
Just about every line, well, in fact, every line has figured in the scoring for UCSB tonight. 11-10, your score with 3:15 to go here in the third period, and the Gauchos looking for more. Damgard to the slot, shot, pad save, stacking them up by Pavsik to rob Justin Goldser.
And maybe the best save of the night from Pavsik right there. A little bit of an old Martin Brodeur style, dropping down, throwing the pads up, and just stacking the pillows to try to keep Santa Rosa from letting this get any worse.
Paliuso on the draw, wins it back for Piagai. Shot through traffic, save, rebound, Paliuso denied by Pavsik. One of those hard off the end boards, Joe Louis Arena style chances, and once again, Pavsik able to come away with the save, this time getting the trapper on it to do so.
And the board play becoming very popular in the modern game as well. Most of the new arenas going with boards that are a lot bouncier and a lot springier for the puck, getting a better reaction, and it creates a lot of goals in just that simple play. The Santa Rosa Polar Bears, the beneficiary of a goal already this game like that.
Osborne for Ridenour along the end boards. Can't connect with Brownlee. Puck gets through Valois, and this goes for icing.
So 2:45 remaining, and I would dare to say this is probably pretty much in the books for the Gauchos. We say no lead is safe, but a 7-goal lead with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left is a pretty high hill to overcome for the Gauchos at this point. Or I should say for the Polar Bears at this point.
Well, at least they have the 2-minute warning come up so they can get that touchdown to get back into it. Wait, wrong sport?
They're gonna need something like that at this point.
Damgard in front, shot, save made by Pavsik. Oh, he robbed Paliuso from the bottom of the hash marks far circle.
I'm not sure if that one got off Pavsik and off the post. I think I might have heard something, but boy, just again, Santa Rosa leaving players wide open in front of the goal crease. And poor Pavsik is doing everything he can to keep his team in the game, including making some just dazzling saves here late. But, boy, you can really see with the body language of Santa Rosa that there's not a whole lot of effort being put into keeping guys out of the front of the crease here. And the Gauchos are just almost scoring at will at this point, were it not for Pavsik.
Off the draw, puck by Brown is taken away by Katasic. In shot, save made by Penn. In the butterfly at the top of the crease near post.
And it's a good, solid save again. Nora has not been very busy in this period, or really in the whole game at this point, but being able to focus up again quickly, get out to the top of the crease, cut off the angle, and make the smart, easy save, and just swallow it up right in the chest and no rebound.
Gauchos control the face-off in their own end defensively. Played to the line, but a good job on the hold-in by Buchter. Behind the net, Jag Lawrence on his backhand. Played to the line, and Spears knocks it out. Sweeps over for Barone. Barone carries in up the right wing. Barone on his backhand, drives to the front. Chip, save, rebound, sitting there. Pavsik made 2 more tremendous stops before it's finally cleared away by Larry Hansen, who skates out to neutral ice. 1:50 to go in the third period.
And I think the Gauchos are going to be killing a penalty for the rest of it.
Hansen does a nice job with a hustle play, working it over the blue line and drawing the hooking infraction to give the Polar Bears a chance with the odd man for the final 1:48 or less, if they can put one past Penn with Barone in the box for the hook.
So another opportunity late for the Gauchos to work on something that hasn't necessarily been their best here this 2-game series, and that's been the penalty kill. An opportunity to really work on that and maybe try to build some confidence as they're about to go out on the road.
Face off to Penn's left. Controlled by the Polar Bears. Back to the line, Pabros. A lot of traffic in front of Penn. Looking for the high tip, comes for Kashishian. His rising backhander catches the glass. Along the near side board, Slisenko battling with Kashishian. Kashishian looking for the backdoor feed. Shot, save made by Penn.
And that's a 10-bell save that she has made this game. Just an odd bounce finds its way over to Kashishian on the far post, And Penn gets the glove across and flashes the leather, making a great save to keep the Gauchos currently still shorthanded, but keep this one alive for them.
Off the draw, played to the end boards for Kashishian. Now Brownlee. Back to the line. It gets underneath Sean Pabros. Rolls back into the Polar Bear zone with 1 minute remaining in the period. Tim Buchter backhands up the boards. Kashishian has it taken away by Kevin Mooney. Mooney dangles, gets by the man. Mooney pass, and Kyle had his stick tied up by Kashishian, or else he had a wide open net. Kyle with the carry, gives for Kevin. Kevin curls behind the net. 35 seconds to go in the game.
This is a good spot to kill a penalty in your opponent's offensive zone.
Back to the point, Vieira for Piagai. Switch for Kyle at the hash marks along the far boards. And he will skate this one back out to center ice. Smart penalty killing here. He'll just wheel back and now come in. Feed into the slot for Kevin. Bounces away from him. Waldron, the right wing. Brownlee tries to dance by Vieira. Goes to the corner. Brownlee. Pass. Goes back to the line. The shot. Save made by Penn. And the UCSB Gauchos have picked up their second win of the season. A resounding 11-4 result over the Santa Rosa Junior College Polar Bears. The offense for the Gauchos. The story for the evening as UCSB scores the first 3 goals in the game. Santa Rosa able to cut it to 3-2, but for UCSB, a second period offensive explosion for 5 goals is the story here as the Gauchos improve to 2-0-0 on the season. The Snyder Rink at Ice in Paradise defended for the first time and first weekend in American Collegiate Hockey Association action. A 7-6 win on Friday night, and now an 11-4 win here on Sunday to send the fans home happy here in Goleta. Color commentator Kyle Nicolas is making his way down ice side. Be speaking with one of the Gaucho players following this second win of the season. And when you go back to last season, UCSB has had quite a run of form in their last several games. But perhaps most impressive, they have taken the 4-time defending PCHA champion Santa Rosa Junior College Polar Bears and sent them packing from Southern California with no points. SRJC 0-3-0. The Gauchos 2-0. And Kyle Nicolas has Jag Lawrence right now.
Thanks, Eric. Down here with Jag Lawrence. Jag, definitely no shy guy to the camera. Jag, you guys got the sweep on the weekend. Has to feel good, and not to mention put up over double-digit goals. What does this feel like in the wake of what happened on Friday night, and how do you guys feel going out on the road?
It feels great, honestly. I mean, Friday we came out strong. We were up, we came down second, third period, and we had to battle back. This game we came out different. We went through the entire way. We worked hard. We didn't stop. We didn't let go. Kept pushing on them, and we got some more in the net. Just showed them how to play UCSB hockey.
Awesome. And what are some of the takeaways that you guys are going to take now from this one, knowing that you guys aren't going to be back here at Ice in Paradise until the end of the month? Got 3 big games coming up against some Pac-8 schools ahead. How are you guys going to take the momentum off of this and take it out on the road with you guys?
We just gotta bring exactly what we did here tonight with us on the road. We're going to be working hard, hitting hard. We're going to move that puck as fast as we can, put it in the back of the net. It's going to come from practice. We got obviously great coaches out there working with us. Continuing these next 2 weeks going into this road trip against Berkeley next week, and we'll come out with another 2 W's.
Thanks, Jag. Go celebrate with your team.
Thanks.
Kyle Nicolas at center ice with Jag Lawrence here on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network after the Gauchos notch an 11-4 victory over the Santa Rosa Junior College Polar Bears. It is a night of stars for Santa Barbara, and it is a night of balance as well for ice hockey at UCSB. every line figures in the scoring for the Gauchos, and when you can get all 4 of them rolling as they were from a very early point in this game, that goes a long way to picking up a result in the manner that the Gauchos were able to do so tonight. Reminder, you can get social with Ice Hockey at UCSB by liking on Facebook at facebook.com/icehockeyucsb. Follow us on Twitter at UCSB Ice Hockey. And if you missed any portion of this broadcast, be sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and go back, check it out. Or if you want to listen to the audio-only broadcast, find us at soundcloud.com/icehockeyucsb audio-only broadcast for the next time we are on air, which will be Friday when the Gauchos take on the University of California Golden Bears from up in Oakland. Mixlr.com/icehockeyucsb is where you can tune in to listen to the audio-only broadcasts. Well, Kyle, how about that? An 11-4 victory. UCSB clearly taking the lessons learned from going into the third period on Friday night with a 4-goal lead, having to get late heroics from Cooper Spears to come away with the win. This time, no mercy in picking up the victory.
And absolutely, the Gauchos' discipline was night and day better in this game. Nowhere near the number of bad penalties. They seemed to keep a level head all the way through. And they definitely played a much better game in front of goaltender Nora Penn as well. So really happy with the effort that they put in here tonight. And I think they've got a lot of positives that they can use now going out on the road for what's going to be arguably their toughest road trip of the season.
Of course, you mentioned it's a 3-game road swing. We've talked about the Berkeley trip, but there also in there is going to be a game between the Gauchos and UCLA. So that as well, something to pay attention to and gives you reason to visit the official website of Ice Hockey at UCSB, ucsbhockey.com. Well, Kyle, it would take a long time for us to go through all of the scoring in this game, so we're going to save that for...
It's going to take me a while to splice the highlights together for the YouTube channel.
For the written piece at ucsbhockey.com, let's go right into picking our 3 stars of the game, and there's so many choices that you could have for the Gauchos in this one. If you had to go with just 3, give us your third.
My third star is going to be goaltender Nora Penn here this evening. Nora not too busy in terms of the shot amount. The defense in front of her played a pretty solid game, but when she was called upon, she was solid, made a lot of very good saves, including a very sparkling save right at the end. So my third star of the game goes to goaltender Nora Penn for another great solid outing.
My third star going to be a Gaucho who scored his first goal in Gaucho colors, and that would be the 4th-line winger from Sweden, Jesper Damgaard. Now, this is as much a Damgaard recognition as it's a recognition of the 4th line and their ability to constantly turn play and really make it so the Polar Bears, against their lower line players, were spending a lot of the time in their own end. We saw on Friday Mitchell Poliuso put up 3 points, a goal, and 2 assists. For Damgaard, he gets just the goal, but that unit was a constant thorn in the side of Santa Rosa, and I think it is well-deserved to give the young man from Solfsborg the credit for his first goal with a 3rd-star acknowledgement.
And I think you took the idea away from me. I also was going to give my 2nd star to Jesper Damgaard, and for much the same reason you say, it is very much an indictment of how well that whole line has been playing together. He seems to fit very well alongside Mitchell Poliuso and alongside captain Justin Goldzer. So that is a line that any team that the Gauchos go up against are going to have to find a way to deal with. And so far through the 2 games, really Santa Rosa had no answer for it, having to focus so many of their defensive resources on Cooper Spears and the top line. Having that as your 4th line, it's just spectacular depth for the Gauchos.
My 2nd star goes to another lower line player, 3rd-line center Dominic Cossio, who he as well gets his first goal as a Gaucho and makes it a 2-goal evening. The first one that he had, the bank shot from beneath the goal line. The second one, though, a beautiful tip play, and you could make the argument that that was the goal that, for all intents and purposes, put the bow on this game for UCSB. Granted, the Gauchos kind of ran away with this one late, scoring in the third period 3 of their 11 goals. But for Cosio, the pretty tip play and the great effort all around with him working with Hunter Van Duzer as well as Greg Hyman. He serves as the stand-in, I suppose you could say, for the third line in being my second star selection for the game.
Not a bad selection. So I think we're now down to the first star, correct?
Indeed we are.
I think I'm going to have to split this one, and it's going to go to the brothers of Kevin and Kyle Mooney, who were just absolutely sensational here on the offense this evening. No answer from Santa Rosa for them. They're so slippery. They're so difficult to play against, and they're just such good stick handlers that they can just go into what seems like 3 and 4 defenders and still come out with the puck, shrugging off body contact, taking away hits. It seemed like every time Santa Rosa went up to try to defend them and play that physical game, they just couldn't lay a body on either of them, and both of them scored, a combined probably 6 or 7 goals here this evening, the two of them combining for a lot of offense. Great performance from the both of them. Tremendous. My first star goes to the both of them.
I will co-sign for that. You have the hat trick scored by Kevin Mooney. Kyle Mooney has himself a 3-point evening as well with a goal and 2 helpers. This is the second straight game, Kyle, that the Gauchos have gotten a hat trick from one of the players on their top 2 offensive lines. This is a unit that is very clearly, for all the limited practice time that head coach Scott Hires mentioned in our pre-game interview, you can already tell that these guys are starting to figure out tendencies. And yes, the Moonies have had a lifetime of playing with each other on the ice, on the roller rinks, to know what the tendencies are. But everything just seems to have been clicking this game for ice hockey at UCSB. Kevin and Kyle Mooney, though, responsible for 5 of the goals for the Gauchos in the 11-4 victory. Well-deserved first star honorees tonight as the Gauchos improve to 2-0-0 on the season. Well, Kyle, any other final thoughts before we send it on home and leave the adult leaguers to their match here at the Snyder Rink at Ice in Paradise?
Well, definitely. I feel like this was probably the best possible scenario for the Gauchos, knowing that they're about to head out on their longest road trip of the season, their most difficult road trip of the season, and a way of starting what's their most difficult stretch of the year as well. The next 2 games against a very good Cal Berkeley side, followed by a matchup with the UCLA Bruins, and then coming back home on the 29th for the game that arguably is circled on all of their calendars, especially the returning players, the home matchup with the Chapman Panthers, and that is going to be a very special game here at Ice in Paradise. I suggest you at home who are listening and watching this, circle that one as well. Come out to Ice in Paradise that day. There are some plans in the works that I don't know if I can reveal yet, but if they happen, it's going to truly be a very colorful and very, very special evening.
And when you can find out about them, you can do so on Facebook at facebook.com/icehockeyucsb, on Twitter at UCSB Ice Hockey, or the official website of the Gauchos on the Ice, ucsbhockey.com. And remember, if you want to help support these young men and women, you can get in contact with team advisor Susan Goodale at susan.goodale@ucsb.edu. It can be a donation. It can be a gift to help the student organization. Susan is extremely good at her job, and she'll help you figure out how you can do that by giving her an email or a call at 805-893-3530, 893-3530 to help support and help keep it rolling as the Gauchos roll to an 11-4 victory today over the Santa Rosa Junior College Polar Bears. It's important because last season the Gauchos were climbing from behind, trying to dig out of a hole after losing in overtime on the opening night of the season to the Chapman Panthers here at Ice in Paradise. Well, new year, new league, new coaching staff, new players, 2-0-0 after the opening weekend. Big thank you to our cameraman, Jesse Gutierrez. For Kyle Nicolas, my name is Eric Evelhoch. It's been a pleasure to bring you this presentation of Ice Hockey at UCSB on the Ice Hockey at UCSB Broadcast Network. We will be back with you on Friday when the Gauchos take on the University of California Golden Bears from up in Oakland. Be sure you're following us on social media to find out when you can listen on MixLR at mixlr.com/icehockeyUCSB. Until then, thanks for listening and watching on YouTube. You can go back and watch the video or listen to us on SoundCloud. Until Friday, thanks for tuning in and have a splendid Sunday evening. 11-4, the Gauchos keep it rolling and are 2-0-0 on the season. Have a good night.